Well, hello everyone. Sorry for the wait. We are here for another uplifting journey into the bucolic little town of Arkham, Massachusetts. You know, it's got like comical bakers and little old ladies who like to meddle in the affairs of the young kids and play matchmaker. And it's got lots of like, you know, flamboyant characters and kind of, it's a comedy basically. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Hey, let's do the thing where we let people know who we are and let people know about your character and whether your character is currently sane and suffering from any sort of disgusting, revolting major injuries. Let's start with you, Misha.
All right, I'm Misha _lesson3 here on Twitch. I'm playing Eloise. She's the school nurse at the college. She's extremely nosy, and also she's definitely insane. Very easily convinced to do whatever you say. It's a good idea. Would love to help you out with it. Is currently buddy buddy with Madge, one of the math teachers here. We're working on a secret experiment, but I'm not supposed to tell you about it because it's secret. Shh. So any rate, that's how Eloise. And also, apparently, I'm really bad at being a doctor. Failed a lot of medicine roles, so looking forward to helping everybody be healthy. Go ahead, Shanks.
Yes, I'm the Shanks Master General. You can find me here at Twitch TV as well. Also, I am with a band called the Dreadnoughts. Find us on Spotify. I am presently not insane. I almost died in one shot, and I have an injury that in my left shoulder left by a creature that can barely be described. The official story, of course, is that it was done by a karate-wielding professor, but that's neither here nor there. I think that's pretty much it. I rolled like a dynamo for my sanity roll, so I'm still sane. John Doe, Villain, go ahead.
My name is Jeremy Villain or Vil. I feel like there's a few other nicknames, but it's fine. I'm playing John Doe, who is a burglar and is currently kind of just watching over certain things for a kind of a mob boss right now that is hurt, insane, something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure. But just kind of watching over some things for him. And yeah.
Yes, Mr. Ricola had a fun little run-in with a lovely little house that was on the market, and things went terribly, terribly wrong. And he wound up in an insane asylum where he definitely wasn't attacked by someone and nearly garroted and then framed for attempted suicide. So it's fine. He has escaped, but you don't know that.
Find those previous episodes on YouTube.
This is all the competing party.
Oh, okay.
You don't know that you're in a competition, but you for sure are. Anyway, it's fine. No worries. I didn't say that. We'll fix that part in post. Hey, so now that we know where everyone is, and to be clear, those of you who have indefinite insanity, which are Eloise and John, if that is indeed your real name, you are normal. You are able to act normally in most cases. However, if you have some sort of sanity loss, your indefinite insanity may be triggered immediately, which is probably why it's a good idea to seek professional attention at some point. Good news is there is a wonderful alienist here in Arkham that you could actually seek out. Dr. Wells could probably help. Just don't tell her that it has anything to do with the occult, because she doesn't believe in that stuff, because she's very sensible. Anyway, well, it is a unseasonably warm day in, mid-spring in Arkham. Folks are physically feeling back to themselves, although may bear scars forever. Mentally, things are probably a little bit shaky for everyone, including the one who didn't go completely insane last time. But it's the kind of day where all the strangeness that you have experienced, it's very easy to think of that as a dream or aberration. It is beautiful. The trees are leafing out. Children are playing with sticks and hoops in the street. It is a lovely bucolic day. I see the occasional vehicle putting by on the streets. All seems to be well. And your bestie, Eloise, is several steps closer to becoming the dean of mathematics at Miskatonic, seeing as how several of the people who were also in line got murdered last time. So good for her, good for you. And you probably only need to visit the basement a couple of times a week. You know, bring some fresh meat in for experiments. It's fine. So I'm going to say the person who, yes, we'll start with you, Eloise. You are greeted by a knock on the door of your office, probably as you are looking over a list of things to pick up and drop by Magis tonight. Like maybe a new chain, an extra set of manacles.
Yes. Please, come in.
A young, fairly handsome, or maybe will be when he grows up, you're going to guess kind of mid-teens, blonde-haired boy kind of pops his head over the window and kind of the door and kind of looks at you. Are you the nurse?
Yes, I am. Nurse Eloise. Nice to meet you. I don't think I've seen you around here before.
Oh no, I don't actually go here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm too young, obviously. Although he is a strapping lad. But you might have seen I participated in the youth arts competition. I won the poetry. I won the poetry section.
Oh, the poetry section. Eloise says, smiling because she knows that someone from out of town had won this one.
Yes.
But she's keeping it polite.
Yes, you did read. This is clearly young Augie Darleth. He'll step forward and in fact introduce himself, extending a hand across your desk.
I will shake his hand.
Gives you a firm handshake. Miss Nurse, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Eloise.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, Miss Eloise, I'm allowed to study here, and the competition was sponsored by the university, and I'm taking a few classes actually in literature and writing while I'm here in Arkham before I go back to Sac Prairie, Wisconsin, where I'm from.
Oh, how nice!
Yeah, it's a great place. Mom and Pa were sure sad to see me go, but they thought it was a good opportunity to come and stay with my Aunt Aggie here in your wonderful town and maybe study at the university. And I've always had a great imagination and a real passion to turn that into poetry and prose and stuff like that. So it seemed like too good a opportunity to miss. But see, I'm real powerful worried about Aggie, my aunt. Well, she's really my great aunt. I don't know how old she is, but she's super old.
Mm-hmm.
She's been acting real strange recently.
Like strange how?
Well, I mean, physically she looks good, like too good almost. She seems to have a lot of energy, and she never looked as good and kind of young and full of vim and vigor, if you will, since I knew her. But like she's also never been real religious, and she's gotten real fixated on this church, which is strange.
Which church?
That's the thing. I don't rightly know. She just seems like every night she's saying, all right, Augie, don't go anywhere. I'm heading to church. It's like, well, but it's like a Thursday night. Nothing happens at church on a Thursday night. And also, you've been an atheist your entire life. So, I've heard of people having a late life conversion or whatever. And I guess, sometimes when that happens, you can get like a new lease on life. And I'm just saying something strange going on. And I went and talked to her family doctor, and he wasn't any good. He wasn't going to listen listen to me. And so I thought, with you being here as part of an academic institution and having probably a strong skeptical mind and being learned and all that stuff, I thought maybe you might be able to just take a look at her and see if everything's okay. Both from like a physical, but also like see if like maybe she's, losing it.
Oh, yes. I'm an excellent judge of character. I certainly can figure that out. Is she close to campus, or are you staying farther away?
I mean, I walk here every day, at least the days I come to hang out at the library. So it's about 15 minutes if you walk brisk.
Yes, let's see. Look at my notebook, look back. I think I can make some time today.
Well, so there's this one other thing. He pulls out, he's got a little kind of canvas satchel. He pulls it out, a book, and kind of slides it to you. It's a Bible. Or at least it appears to be.
It's not hollowed out or anything, is it?
Well, I don't know. Are you examining it?
Yeah, I am.
All right, cool. Yes, well, it does appear to be a Bible. There's a strange symbol embossed on the cover, the black leather cover. You think at first it is like a caduceus. But instead of two serpents intertwined, it's one. So a variant of a serpent on a branch. And as you open it, it appears to be a perfectly normal Bible, but someone has taken the effort to annotate it quite heavily, less with writing than with drawings. Go ahead and give me a sanity check.
Love giving sanity checks.
Do it.
Yeah, that's a good old 71 over 50.
Oh my.
Great start.
Take 2
Doing good. I
points
did
of sanity
switch out
damage.
the dice. Will do.
And don't forget to mark your thresholds. Your 20% threshold, that is, if you lose that amount in one session, you go gaga.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's 20% of your starting this session.
Oh, that's sorry. Yeah, 1/5.
Yeah. So what the
Starting amount.
the reason that you react is that although none of the drawings directly resemble or depict anything that you've seen before, there's just a feeling of wrongness. The artistic skill is actually quite high. And you aren't entirely sure exactly what you're looking at. There's certainly a serpentine theme, but there's wings and teeth that don't seem to match. Like, is it snakes? Is it bats? Is it tigers? It's some strange creature or variations on a creature that just makes you feel uneasy. And gives you the sense that this might be a bit more dangerous than it appears.
All right.
Well, so, I'm not all in for this Bible stuff either, but it seems strange, doesn't it? Well, number one, why would she have a Bible? She's been an atheist all her life. My Aunt Aggie, she's a real different kind of person. At least she always has been. She never married. She drives herself. Kind of, she ran a business here in Arkham for a long time until she retired, growing orchids. So she's just always been a real interesting person, and it's just kind of sad to see her if she is indeed, kind of going soft in the head. But you see those drawings? That ain't normal.
No, it's not. I'm closing the book quickly and being like, wow, we should visit her straight away. Maybe I should bring a friend or two. Just in case.
I mean, yeah. I don't see why not. I better take that and put it back in her dresser, so she doesn't know it's missing.
Yes. Oh,
So,
yes, of
so I'll
course.
take it back and stick it in. Well, I really do appreciate you helping me out. I wasn't quite sure where to go. I'm not going to be around that much longer, and I just kind of wanted to see her situated, and if she needs some sort of care, I need to correspond with my pa and let him know that, you know, maybe she needs to come stay with us. I don't know. I just don't feel good about, you know, leaving her here by herself if things are taking a turn for the worse.
Well, you're right to come to me. I'm a very trustworthy person.
I heard you were really an excellent nurse and never failed every medical check you've ever made.
That is correct.
He says that, he breaks the fourth wall and says that directly to camera.
Eloise did
Exactly.
save my life. Just saying.
Okay.
Technically speaking.
Technically.
You only pass.
Great use of boons.
Yes, you only succeed at medical skills when you're a Gaga.
Exactly.
Cool. So what happens? Well, I better head back and put this back and just, you know, here, and he'll write the address on a piece of paper on your desk. All right. Well, thank you, Nurse
very
Eloise.
much.
I'll see you shortly.
Yes.
All right. So he heads on out.
All right. Well, I'll stick that address in my bag of things, pack up stuff, and be like, should I run my errands before or after we go? Probably after. And then, since I know Match is busy working on getting that dean position, I am going to go to wherever Maurice is. Bother him.
Arkham Taxi Garage.
All right.
Exactly.
So we do a little smash cut to Eloise, prim and proper, in the all whites, heading into the very, very noisy and greasy and smoky garage. Maurice, I'm going to say you're probably underneath a car, banging away at something.
Yeah, I'm working on the
Reese?
carburetor or on the muffler. Wait, do they even have mufflers back then? No.
I don't know.
I'm
The wheel
working
the
on
hamster gets
engine.
in. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
The drivetrain.
They have axles, that's for sure. You're working on the axle.
Working on greasing those axles.
There you go.
There it
Greasing them
is.
axles. Maurice, hello? Hello? Are you in here? Hello?
Who's that hollering in my shop? And then I guess I wheel myself from underneath the vehicle. It's like, Eloise, it's lovely to see you.
It's good to see you as well. How's your shoulder?
It's still healing up from that karate incident, but I should be. I'm on the mend. I don't think it'll ever stop hurting, but it's
Well, if
definitely a
you
lot
need
better.
any medication or anything, just let me know and I can just write you up a little prescription.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Oh,
The camera cuts down to Eloise's bag and then kind of gets inside it. It is just heroin all the way down.
Exactly.
Laudanum.
I can write you a prescription. It's every drug and alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was visited by, the poetry winner of the contest, for the book.
I read the article, but I don't know much about poetry personally.
Well, that's
yeah.
not important right now. What is important is that he stopped by my office to say his aunt wasn't feeling well and wanted to have a little wellness checkup. Said that she might be, unwell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had the most disturbing Bible that apparently she had written some, drawn in with some bad snakes. No
How bad we
good.
talking?
The snakes were very, very bad. She's kind of zoning out as she recalls the snakes.
You all right?
Oh.
Eloise?
Oh, yes, of course, I'm fine. At any rate, I thought we'd just mosey down. I've got the address right in here. Yes, it's a 15-minute walk or so. Maybe stop in, say hi, see how she's doing. Just a little, wellness checkup.
Okay.
And if anything should happen, I'd feel so much better if I had a nice, strong fellow with me Not that I think anything would be wrong. He said that she's quite old, but seems to be filled with vim and vigor, so...
If we do experience any sort of trouble like we have had in the past, I would probably want more people to come over then. Like, is that something... Like, would you agree?
Well, yes, but unfortunately, Madge is busy. So it might just be the two of us, unless someone's eavesdropping on our conversation right now.
So how should we introduce this?
I think literally, Eloise sees John, who's been picking up a little bit of help, like cleaning up things and putting tools back in the racks, is 100% just like polishing that same wrench over and over and then edging closer to eavesdrop. And then that happens. Unless someone happens to be eavesdropping, camera cuts to John.
John would probably kind of like spin away, just kind of, nope, I wasn't totally doing that.
Well, if he's
Yeah.
working here...
You there, you, come here. Are you under employment here at the taxi company?
Part of.
I think
That's-
that's John, right? John? Yeah, John here's temporarily employed. He's just picking up some light work for the time being.
Well, congratulations, John. I think you've just earned a little more light work. If you would be so kind as to accompany myself and Maurice over to this young boy's great aunt's house, just in case she's feeling a little punchy or something. I'm sure the two of you would be perfectly capable of handling it.
I'm gonna get paid for this, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Then sure, I'll come along. I got no problem with that. Yeah. So where are we going? Again?
Perfect. This is where it cuts to us being at the front door, having me explain everything that you heard on the way.
And I'm going to say, John, with the mention of weird religious stuff and strange symbols, you probably get a feel, given what you went through a couple of weeks ago. So maybe you wonder if there's a connection. Who knows?
I'm not just playing dumb at this point because he doesn't know exactly how much they know. He doesn't want them to know how much he knows, kind of deal. It's
Yep. So, Eloise, I assume you're leading the charge.
Yes. We'll
So you-
knock on the door. Yep.
I motion John to take his hat off if he's wearing one.
no, he would not be wearing a hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a big fake beard, like a super obviously fake 4-foot CC top. No, it's fine. So I think the camera sees, Maurice, pull a rag out and, kind of get the last little bit of grease off your hands and make everyone's making themselves presentable. Eloise, of course, is always presentable. And you hear a voice, "Just a minute." And then you hear sprightly steps on the floor approaching. And then the door kind of pops open and you see a woman. You're going to guess in her 50s, but like a well-preserved 50s. Like there's strands of silver in her hair, probably half and half. And you can see some fine lines, but this is someone who is, has won the lottery. She's quite attractive. Very trim. She looks at you with bright blue eyes. "Oh, well, I was prepared to shoo away some salesmen, but apparently it's I see a nurse before me. What can I do for you?"
Yes, Miss Volk, was it?
"Yes."
Oh, yes, your nephew at the school stopped by and just talked with me, and he wanted me to ask you a few questions about what was going on here in the city. You know there's been a lot of to-do in the paper, right?
"Oh, I don't read that rag."
Oh, you don't?
"No. There's a whole bunch of this, that, and the other, and accusations and crime, and you know, blaming everything on the devil drink, you know, the giggle water. I've always been a teetotaler myself, so none of it has anything to do with me. I have more important concerns.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, won't you come in? And who are
yes,
these
thank you.
fine young men with you?
Oh, these are some colleagues of mine, Maurice and John.
Well, welcome to my home, Maurice and John.
Hello there, ma'am.
I think she gives both Maurice and John a just an obviously lascivious kind of up and down look.
Maurice is still on the market, so you know.
So is John.
Well, let me show you to my parlor. It's been a while since I had, you know, a couple of young men come and visit me unannounced.
Well, thank you for your invitation, madam.
Thank goodness I had my hair set just yesterday. Well, won't you have a seat? Can I make you some tea?
Oh,
I would
yes,
love some
please.
tea.
Or
Thank
coffee?
you.
Coffee, please.
All right. Augie, get down here. You see him kind of come down the steps and see you all, and and then look at his great aunt as if bracing for some sort of argument. Well, your friends are here. You better go make them some tea and see if you can't get a few of those biscuits out of the bread case. They're probably still fresh. Oh, and some coffee for this gentleman here. He says, yes, Aunt Augie. And he'll run off back to the kitchen. You hear some clattering of dishes. So you wanted to interview me about goings on around town? Well, like I said, I'm afraid I won't be able to help you. But perhaps, and then perhaps I can help you. Maybe not in the way that you're thinking, but let me listen to you first.
Well, you see, Augie's been taking some classes at the campus.
Yes,
I think
he's
during
very
the
bright.
summer for the poetry contest. How has he been, by the way? Staying here with you over just the summer, right?
Oh, well, no, he's been here since last fall, before the winter.
Oh, okay.
Working up a storm, studying up in his room. He's very bright.
Very nice.
Very bright young man. He's definitely going places. He has a fanciful imagination, I'm afraid. But that's what I hear the writing trade is built upon. The ability to manufacture tall tales out of nowhere.
Of course. Yes, well, there was some disturbances around campus, and maybe they've just been affecting his own mentality on the situation. He was concerned about your well-being, but it seems to me that you are doing just fine.
Well, I did hear at the hairdresser's that there had been some unfortunate, some murders. And poor dear boy, he's from Wisconsin, where such things don't happen quite as frequently as it seemed to here. So I think you're probably right. I think it made him a little bit anxious and nervous, and it's only natural for him to think about his poor, dear old great aunt, So, yeah, but I'm absolutely fine. Better than fine, in fact. There's a certain light in her eyes. They're very bright, almost to the point of glassiness, as she smiles and looks at you all very intensely.
As we're talking, are there like any pictures of her? Like, what's the room situation? Like, does she look, if there were? Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was just about to ask that while she was talking. Like, how does the room look? Is there any like weird idols or?
I got a 86 over 65, meaning I'm maintaining eye contact with her aggressively.
Yes.
What are we rolling?
Spot hidden.
I got an 8 under 60, so it's a hard success.
Oh, very good.
Ooh. I'm trying to find my spot hidden on the sheet. There's a lot of things.
By stealth
25.
and there you go.
Ooh, is that a 7 or a 1? That's a 1. I just succeed.
A 1? No, a 1 is a critical success.
No, 21. That's 4 under.
21.
4 under
Okay.
my.
So a
yeah.
success and a hard success. John, I have to assume that you're relatively close to an extreme success.
So it says 8. So 12 is my extreme success.
And you're at what?
8.
Oh, so you are. So you did hit an extreme success.
Yes.
Okay, so extreme
Yes.
success or regular success. Regular success for Maurice as this is happening, and as Eloise is like just drawn in by the force of this woman's presence. You glance around, and yes, you do in fact see a photograph. It must have been taken relatively recently because you see the young man that had come down the steps, and you have just heard that he hasn't been here for but a few months. It is a relatively formal portrait of the two of them, or this woman's older sister, because the woman in the photograph, although it is quite small and it's a ways away, your eyesight is quite good. The woman in the photograph is clearly in her 70s.
So there's an obvious disparity in age.
There is a remarkable resemblance, but yes, the woman in front of you looks to be 15, 20 years younger. With a hard success. Young Augie brings in a tray with 3 cups of tea and a cup of coffee, and sets it down and kind of stands over by the doorway. And Agatha just turns and looks at, well, go back up to your room. The adults are talking, and I think you have a short story to finish, don't you? Yes, ma'am. And he goes back up. As you're looking around for any signs of anything strange or unusual, John, as she picks up her teacup and just kind of starts going on and on about how, when she was young, no one locked their doors. It would be unthinkable for any kind of violence. And, with the youth of today running around and causing all kinds of ruckus, et cetera, just the typical sort of the world's going to hell in a handbasket thing. She pauses for a moment to take a sip of tea, and you see something in her throat move in a way that is most distressing. It's only because you're seated just at the right angle that you can see some large thing shift in her throat as she swallows.
John's gonna look at her and go, I know that we just got here, but do you know where the restroom is? Or may I use your restroom?
It's my house. Certainly, we have the indoor powder room.
Nice.
Very pleased.
May I use it?
Oh, of course. It's back through there.
Okay. John's gonna get up and go kind of to the bathroom, and kind of get out of eye shot and start kind of poking around at this point.
Okay. Go ahead and give me. Oh, what is everyone else doing first?
I'm hit up this fine lady for some information about her religious experiences.
Yes, you will.
From Christian to Christian. We're not the same denomination, clearly, because, yeah. But it could probably help us ascertain as to what her mental state is or what her beliefs can reveal.
And Eloise?
I am participating in the conversation.
All right. So I will say, John, roll a stealth with a bonus die, because the only person who's likely to catch you is being effectively distracted.
So just roll again, right?
The tens die, you get to roll twice and take the lower.
Okay. Well, the first one's 100.
Okay. You fall to the floor onto spikes and die.
50 under 61.
Okay.
Just 6 success.
Yeah. If you were you're not being as cautious as you sometimes can, because you know that you know who's all in the house. You know that there's a distraction. You're just being reasonably quiet so as to not attract attention to yourself. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden now.
42 under 60.
Okay, so a regular
Normal
success. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool. So we'll get to that in a second. So the conversation, as Maurice, you broach the topic. So how do you broach the topic of religion?
I basically, well, I'll just say it. Madam, it's my understanding then that you recently found the Lord, and in
Yes.
the Quaker faith, we don't really have preachers or people in charge, but what we do have are testimonies from other people. And I would think it would be a great personal favor if you told me about your experience with finding the Lord and what it means to you.
Well, I do think this is providence. Although I will also say I don't so much claim to have found the Lord as the Lord found me.
Ah.
Yes. You know, there are so many false faiths. Seems like every day, some newfangled religion, some revival tent preacher claiming to offer eternal life in the light of Jesus. I don't know what I must have done to have earned the truth, the revelation. But I'm sure you can see it in me, being a man of God yourself.
I can see you're quite youthful for someone your age. Sorry to say.
No
So-
offense taken. The Lord works in mysterious ways. He clearly has much for me to do, and has granted his blessing to me of health, as is always the case with the righteous. You know, not to speak ill of your own tradition, but I have to say, being open to such things, you might want to seek a deeper truth.
What would that truth be?
Well, I can tell, and that she sniffs the air. I can tell that you have recently been unwell of body.
That's true. I've had an incident.
Well, in my faith, the righteous are not subjected to such trials. And I don't mean to doubt the strength of your belief. It's just that it may be that the teachings of your tradition are limited. There's a perhaps deeper communion you should seek to protect yourselves from the just vicissitudes of life, illness, injury. All healing is powerful with the truth of the Lord. Wouldn't you say, Miss Eloise? Surely you've experienced as a medical professional that although all your pills and potions and things can certainly cover up the suffering of decay and death, that sometimes, every once in a while, something miraculous happens that all your science and textbooks can't explain.
It is true. That does happen sometimes.
Yes, well,
I'm very interested in this true communion that allows for greater healing.
I thought you might be. You know, the moment I saw you on my doorstep, I wondered if perhaps we might not have a few new sheep to add to the flock. And as she speaks, she's kind of swaying her head in a way, lingering on the sibilance. It's actually very soothing, Eloise. Maurice, go ahead and give me an occult.
I mean,
Or
that thing
some
I don't have.
occult or psychology.
Let's see. I got 10 in psychology. I got 5 in occult. Let's go for psychology.
Yeah.
That is 88.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mark that off as failed.
Yeah. You don't know what to believe, right? Like some of this sounds a little bit probably a little bit in conflict with your
from
tradition.
From what I understand of Quakerism, they're usually not as big on communions and sort of stuff
and
like that.
evangelism, right?
Yeah, that's
so this seems a little bit off, but I think you probably don't get a clear read as to the sincerity.
Oh God, no.
And probably miss all the kind of super obvious hints that this is real bad situation. It's fine.
Would I still be in earshot of all of this conversation?
Yeah.
Can I make a psychology check?
Yeah, but I would do it with a penalty die just because you can't see.
That's fair. I was gonna say I have a 33 in psychology, so.
Oh, sorry, I marked off psychoanalysis. That's different.
So that's a 98. I don't think I can get worse than that. So.
Oh no, that's a crit fail because you're under 50. How can you? I'm gonna say, I mean, you're busy looking around, but something about the voice and the certainty of it, you find yourself very. It's like, you know what? It's been a long time. Of course, you don't remember how long it's been since you went to church, but there's something like it stirs something in you, and kind of feel like maybe that would be a good idea. To have a little certainty in life, to have someone else or something else to shoulder some of the burden, seems like it would be a good thing. And maybe you've looked in a lot of places for answers. Maybe faith is the place that you should look next. So there's your crit fail. But your spot hidden was successful. I'm going to say the general, you don't find any one thing right away, at least. You don't find any one thing that is obviously weird. The place is very well kept, like very well kept. Spick and span. The quality of you don't find anything super valuable. There are a few probably family heirlooms, like some nice china or whatever, but nothing that your sort of casual appraisal suggests would be even worth the risk of boosting.
Mm-hmm.
But you, as I'm going to say, as you hear footsteps approaching up the hallway toward the kitchen, and it's probably the nephew, but you kind of hop into the little pantry just as Augie comes in and says, I forgot the biscuits, and comes back and you can hear him serving the biscuits. You kind of look around and your foot hits against something, kind of in a lumpy burlap sack, and you notice there's a strange kind of musty smell. And just out of curiosity, you go and open the bag. It's full of animals. Rats, rabbits, a cat or two.
I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pull it close real quick, kind of put it back, kind of one of those. All right, I guess we're in one of these situations again.
And you said you got a regular success?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think that's probably all you notice.
It's fine. He's gonna.
No. There's one other thing that you would notice as you kind of like lift up the sack and then cinch it closed. For how many animals you see in the bag, which is probably a good like 7 or 8, the bag feels very light. It only occurs you at like maybe as you set it down. You're like, I set it down too hard. Maybe it'll be a thud, and there really isn't. And you realize that bag was awfully light. As if perhaps the animals didn't weigh as much as they ought to.
Yeah. He's just gonna quote. He's gonna just kind of keep it in his back on the back burner and just kind of, oh no, okay, kind of try to put the bag back kind of where it was. Come out of the pantry, kind of look around and make sure Augie isn't kind of lingering.
You hear his footsteps go back upstairs.
Okay. I'm gonna assume there isn't like a flushing toilet or anything like that.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, so he's gonna hop into the bathroom and he's just gonna shut the door real quick, flush it.
Pull the cord. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of just act like he used the restroom, and then come back out. Just to kind of give that appearance of the sound at least, and then come back into the living room.
So, as you come back in, Maurice and Eloise see her eyes kind of dart over. She's obviously very, very aware as John approaches and sits back down. And then she'll say, well, but what about you, Alex? Are you a man of God? Oh, I'm sorry. You just reminded me of someone. John, yes.
It depends on the day. Sometimes I feel like he's not on my side all the time. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, I'm a man of God.
Well, I find it's less about expecting the Lord to be on our sides and more about making sure that we're on his side. I was just talking to your friends about, revelation and the blessing of eternal life. Being washed by the blood.
John's going to make it a very good point not to look her in the eyes. Pretty much kind of look at her chin level down and just kind of like not make direct eye contact with her.
All right. Well, you're all welcome to come with me this evening to St. George's.
Oh, is that the church you're attending?
Yes.
Yes, Augie had mentioned that you had been attending church nightly. Unusual for nightly services, isn't it?
Well, our congregation does believe in fellowship.
It's always important to share with your fellow man.
Yes, and every day is a day where God is worthy of praise, so why shouldn't we praise him every day? Some of these traditions about, leaving our Lord to one day of the week, I mean, he made the world. And it's incumbent upon us to ensure that the world lives up to his expectations.
Yes, of course. Well, we'd be delighted to join you this evening.
Excellent. Well, do you know where St. George's is?
I'm afraid I'm not familiar.
You are not familiar. In fact, being a resident of Arkham, you have never heard of St. George's before. She will, however, stand up and go over to like a little side desk and open a drawer and kind of rummage around in some papers. And then she'll come back and hand you a flyer. On it are instructions. So you have to kind of go out of town and then across the bridge and then up the county road and then take a little bit of side road. So it's probably a good 20 minutes out of town, driving slowly. And you seem to recall, even without a check, that there used to be a church out there. So perhaps it's been reconsecrated or taken over by a different congregation. The other thing I would say that is obvious is there's a beautiful kind of woodcut, kind of stylized art piece on the front of this little flyer. And at first glance, it is very much what you would expect of the story of St. George slaying the dragon. But you can spot hidden for me.
Is that Louise?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, you got a 36 under 65.
At first glance, it appears to be a picture of St. George slaying the dragon. And you kind of think, are there churches of St. George? I mean, I guess there are. It's like, maybe they're Anglicans? I don't know. But then you look closer at the woodcut illustration, and it is clearly more the dragon slaying the knight than vice versa. A little gruesome.
Well, thank you for the invitation, and we'll look forward to seeing you this evening.
Yeah, services begin just after sundown.
Of course.
If you get lost, just follow the tolling of the bell.
Fantastic. Well, we will be there at sundown, or a little bit before. It was nice meeting you.
Lovely to meet you as well.
Thank you for the tea and the testimonial. Thank you.
My pleasure. As you go to leave, you see Augie kind of peeling over the banister and kind of like, and as she moves forward, he kind of steps back. So what happens?
Well, I say as we are walking back to the college, I will need use of one of your taxis, I think, Maurice, if you would be so polite as to accompany me.
Yeah, I could loan that. It's just, what are we doing exactly?
Well, obviously, this is some sort of weird cult because this dragon is eating the knight right here. You see on this pamphlet how the dragon is eating the knight most gruesomely?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
pretty
what's
interesting.
happening? I guess that's
Yes.
what's happening.
It's probably related to the snakes in the book that were very upsetting. Not good. Very
Probably
bad.
also with the bag of animals that she has in her pantry.
The what? Like dead ones?
Yeah, just in like a potato sack, just sack full of animals, just chilling in the pantry. I didn't actually
that'd be
use the
weird.
restroom. Yeah.
It's so weird to get a sack full of animals, says Eloise on her shopping list of variety
Sack full
of
of
meat
animals.
to get.
I don't know if it was the trick of the light either. Or maybe I've just gone through some things, but there was definitely something in the back of her throat that shouldn't have been there. I just sound crazy. Never mind. And he's
No.
and he's just gonna kind of continue to like walk. Yeah.
We've seen some strange things, so
It could happen. I mean, you know.
So
The
I don't sound
snake.
crazy.
No, not at all. You're among friends here.
Okay.
So I would think maybe. Well, listen. As long as we're sounding crazy, maybe there's a snake inside. Who knows?
Would there be a
Bonus
snake inside
snake.
of her?
Taking control of her. Because
Like,
she's part of a
isn't-
snake cult. Obviously.
what?
That
Listen,
sounds
it makes
just-
complete sense, Maurice. Follow the clues, Maurice. It's obvious. Snake Bible, animals, small animals. Obviously, there's a dragon. Makes perfect sense. But we'll probably
Snakes aren't
find out
dragons.
more if we.
They're lizards.
Yeah, but if you just attach some feet onto a snake, is that not just a dragon?
Yeah.
Maurice is having a bit of a moment here because he had previously seen the most ungodly thing in the universe. And he's thinking to himself, it's like, is it happening again? And who's going to stop it?
Oh, I think that this is probably worth a sanity check for Maurice. Getting hit with all the info.
Yeah.
We're helping, say the two insane people.
It's a 50,
We're here to help.
chance. Oh. Is that a 5? Yep, I failed my sanity check.
Uh-oh. Take 2.
Take 2. That's not bad.
I mean, it's
Other-
all hearsay stuff at this point, but yeah, you get the heebie-jeebies for sure.
The other weird thing that she said, she used my middle name. John's clear. I was going to say John. Obviously, that's not his middle name. She used my middle name. She used Alex. I've never told anybody my middle name before.
Yeah, I was about to ask who Alex was. Her eyes did seem extra sparkly. Maybe she can see the truth within your soul. Or not. Maybe there was just something else that gave her the vibe. But you have never told anybody your middle name was Alex? I mean, if you lived around here and she's been here for a long time, maybe she has some access to records or...
I kind of don't live anywhere. I kind of bounce from city to city, to be completely honest.
Says Eloise, taking a step closer to Maurice.
I mean, he doesn't look like a hobo, but he might be a hobo.
He could be. At any moment, he could start hoboing around here.
Look, at this stage of history, hobos were at least somewhat charming.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially during the 20s? I mean, right?
We're
That's
right
what
before
we're-
when we're in the business.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The Great Depression's right around the corner, or it has already happened. One of the two. I mean,
No, it's
Not yet.
It's the end of this decade. So
It's roaring 20s.
yeah, right now it's like
Okay.
it's all upward from here, baby.
yeah. So I mean, you're bouncing around job to job type of
Yeah.
deal. So I mean, trying to find a place.
Yeah, hobo's good, drifter's bad.
Correct.
We need to decide which line you fall upon.
Right.
Any rate, so if we should go to this service tonight and I guess attempt to either gather information about this cult and report it to the authorities if they are doing crimes, or find a way to disrupt it, or have proof of the collective group's insanity, and then they can be merely taken away to the nearest asylum.
Does anybody have
Simple
a
as that.
camera?
No, those are heavy and expensive.
Oh, okay.
That was the other party.
All right.
You read about
I agree with
some
Eloise.
famous inventor and photographer from the 19th century who wandered around the West, documenting strange things with a strange camera. But that was just a fantasy tale.
If we have more, and I'll gesture with the flyer, like more literature that shows the invalid state of their church. What church was this anyway? Do they have the permits needed to restart this building here?
I mean, do we want to do some research on this emblem before we go, or at least to see kind of what we're walking into? I don't really want to walk
Sure.
into it blind.
My library use is
We can do all the research that we are capable of.
all right. Well, maybe since we're headed back to
Green-
Miskatonic, we can try looking up the library and whatnot for.
Yeah.
I mean, at least look up maybe the symbol that we're used to, which is the other way around. It's the dragon eating him. At least see what that means, type of deal.
The caduceus instead of the half duceus.
I would
Yeah.
assume that it would just means the opposite, right?
Who knows?
All
To
right.
the library.
Yes. So a lovely kind of
Research montage.
mid-afternoon, lovely walk. Nice. The sun is very, very warm, but the breeze is nice and cool and refreshing. It's almost as you're making your way back to the campus, that sense of strangeness you begin to question. Like I think for each of you, the whole like, okay, it's cults straight away cults and monsters. It's like, okay, but is it really? You know, there's just like, because reality, mundane reality is so much around you. Maybe a little bit of skepticism works its way in, or maybe not, because two of you are crazy. Yes. So you find yourself at the Miskatonic Library and need to go ahead and start looking some things up. So let's get those rolls.
Library boost 20%.
Yeah.
Oh my! I scored an 11. Oh, sorry, 17. 17
But
rather.
that's still a success.
Yep.
I got a 24 under 35.
A success.
I got a 9 under 20, which is a hard success.
A success, and a hard success. Excellent, excellent. So I will tell you what you find. And you have hours, right? Unless there's anything that you need to do. Like, let me know if there's anything else you need to do before you head off into the trackless woods to go hang out with this cult or whatever. Like any other preparations. But we'll say you spend at least a couple of hours. So do some research and find some information about the story of St. George slaying the dragon. There's not a lot of, like, you follow that lead for a little bit. And aside from some famous artworks and things like that, a lot of information about dragons not being real. That doesn't seem to give you any useful information. You do, however, I'm going to say find 2 pieces of information. One, I think Maurice and Eloise are going from there to looking more for that snake symbol or something similar. And you do find some reference to snake worship. And there's a lot of reference to snake worship, right? In South American tribes and in various different parts of the world. And, the Miskatonic University Library has a lot of strange information in it. So you're probably inundated by a lot of information about snake cults and snake gods, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing that catches your eye is that indeed there is a reference to some sort of variant Christian sect, early Christian sect in Eastern Europe that had some unusual beliefs about the symbolism of the snake in the Garden of Eden. Whereas typically the snake is what tempts Eve to eat of the apple of the knowledge of good and evil. In fact, the snake in this tradition represents the gift of eternal life, or the keeper of eternal life. And that it was through accepting this gift of eternal life in a way that seems kind of vaguely salacious. Like, it's not exactly like this book is probably 100 years old, so it's obviously not spelled out in any detail, but there's some like, and Eve spent time in a really creepy way with this snake and was given vast knowledge and power. And for this, she was cast out, and Adam too, for some reason. So it's a variant belief, but there is an inscription or an example inscription, probably from some coat of arms of a family that had its origins during that time. And it is superficially similar to the iconography that you saw embossed on the cover of the Bible, which you now see, although it does resemble in some ways a caduceus, it also very much does look like a snake on a branch. John, with that hard success, I'm going to say, they're going off on all this kind of like symbology stuff and you keep thinking about the thing moving in her throat that was discussed. And so maybe you make your way into the kind of diseases and medical conditions. And we'll say you come across an apocryphal tale from probably 200 or 300 years ago of an outbreak, probably due to witches or whatever, but some sort of strange outbreak in a village in Bohemia of people who took ill and then maybe like stopped being ill and then started like drawing others, and it gets really hard to know for sure because there's a lot of and so had congress with the devil, and you're kind of having to read through those lines, but you come away with the impression that, oh, this is an interesting story, until you get to the part of there was a report that when the townsfolk rose up against these individuals who had been afflicted by the devil and killed them, some serpentine creature burst from their bodies. And then all these creatures were captured and burned on a pyre. And the person who's writing this medical textbook posits that this was some sort of hitherto unknown parasitic infection. And, takes a relatively modern stance that, many of the things that have been associated with the supernatural in the past, or, with the Salem witch trials, obviously being relevant here in Massachusetts, were attributable, if not to just people making stuff up and panic, to mental illness or to some sort of physical disease, or to poisoning via ergot or other completely natural methods. So this is the one thing in kind of reading through this medical take on outbreaks of supernatural stuff that strikes you as being potentially relevant. Because it was a hard success. Well done. A couple of hours have passed. The sun is lowering towards the horizon. What happens?
John's going to take that book over to the Eloise and be like, so I found this. And this kind of matches, other than them not coming out of their throat, just coming out of their body. Some serpentine type of thing, and kind of just plops the book in front of her and go, you're a medical person, here you go.
Well, you see, my medical expertise was right. A snake is living within inside her. Is there any medical analysis that would...
I mean, you could do a medicine roll.
I love doing medicine rolls.
Tapeworms, I don't know.
Gang, I got 81 over 77 because why would it be good?
Yeah.
We
I
have, a
don't
new,
know.
we have a new candidate for Dice Jail.
Yeah.
Listen,
says,
they're so
well,
sparkly though.
It's a medical fact that if you drink water out of a stream, you get snake eggs in you and the snakes hatch. That's a medical fact.
Right.
It's a medical fact. I learned it. I'm a nurse, which in many cases is better than a doctor.
True, usually.
That is true.
But Eloise got her medical degree from Ivy League University. So it's fine. Someday Eloise will roll well on a medical task. But that day is not today.
Perhaps even when it's healing you.
Right.
Maybe.
Got it. I don't really know what to do with this information, to be completely honest.
Well, just make sure that you boil your stream water before you drink it. Otherwise, the snake eggs will get you.
Also says we should go armed, at least secretly. Maybe I can go there with a heavy cane just because of my injury or something like that. We could probably find something at the shop.
You didn't show up to her.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good.
I was just going to say shape a piece of rebar into a cane or something like that. Actually, do they even have rebar?
Yeah.
Something.
So my only issue with that is you didn't show up to her house with a cane.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So
it's your evening cane.
There you go. Fancy cane.
I didn't have to stand for long periods of time. There you go.
Yeah, you're always lying down at your shop.
Yeah.
It caught you by surprise on the walkover. At any rate, if you gentlemen wish to arm yourselves secretly, you may. I'm sure we're just here to gather information to report to the authorities. And nothing else will happen.
Should we maybe tell someone where we're at? just in case something were to go down.
Oh, I'll leave a note for Madge. She'll be able to help us. She was
Yeah.
expecting me tonight, so I have to rearrange a few things anyway.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
At least
Good you-
someone knows where we're at, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone
Glad to
who's
hear you.
definitely not in the depths of it, like a clinical obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah. No, it's fine. She's completely fine. I'm completely fine. I'll just
The
write
thing in the
her
basement is
a
completely
note.
fine. Yes.
Yeah. I'll leave a note for Madge and let her
Okay.
know that I'll be late.
Okay. Good. Someone will eventually find the bodies. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. So, is Eloise arming herself in any way?
I mean, I always have my small switchblade knife on me, so I feel like that's plenty.
Yeah.
You probably don't want me to hold a gun.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, above the table, who's any good at combat?
Fighting brawl, I'm great at.
Okay.
Handguns, 20.
Yeah.
Firearms, shotguns, 25.
Yeah.
Nope.
No. So baseline for
Yeah.
everything else. Okay.
25, 25, 35 for brawling.
Okay.
I'm more about dodging than anything.
Yeah. So
Dang, I got 45 for brawl. I'm coming in.
yeah, I was gonna say. So you have
I might not be able to heal, but I can harm.
you have one person who has a better than 50 chance at landing a blow. This will be fine. Don't worry.
I mean, you got to fight the patients every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to
Yeah.
restrain them type of deal. So that makes
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah. That's literally the only reason that Eloise has any skills, because every once in a while she has to beat down a patient.
Gotta get him. I am confident we're just information gathering and we won't all die. Or we're all going to join a cult, which will be extra exciting.
Yeah.
Bonus insanity.
Cool. So
Raise that
Forever.
Cthulhu score.
it's easy enough, Maurice, if you want to pick up something heavy.
Yeah, something straight, preferably metallic.
Yeah, that same wrench.
Oh,
Yeah, your lucky wrench.
my lucky wrench.
Yeah,
Sure.
easy enough.
I'll just keep that in the old back pocket.
And John brings whatever John has. Good, great.
Yeah.
So does anything else happen? Spend some time at the library. I think I'll say that as you are, kind of putting all the books back, etc. A young blonde man will kind of poke his head and kind of look, and then see you all and kind of rush over. Oh, hi again. Did you see what I'm talking about? It's real strange.
Yeah, it's highly unusual, bud.
I mean, y'all aren't really going out to that creepy old church, are you?
What have
course
you
we
heard
are.
about? What have you heard about it?
I don't know. I ain't gonna go out there. Probably try to baptize
this
me or
is-
something, and my mom would be furious about that.
Well, this is something that the adults can handle here. You've done a good job informing us, so just be careful. I can understand why the doctor didn't see anything wrong. Obviously, she is looking
he's
quite healthy.
Well, and I mean, everyone knows he's a lush, so
Most doctors are.
oh, I did not know that. Well,
Yes,
I guess you learn
in
something
my
new every day.
professional experience.
Well, you would know.
Yes.
Well, so is there anything y'all need me to do? Do you need me to come with you and keep an eye out, or?
I have a question for
Mm-hmm.
you. Your aunt never drinks?
No, not that I know of.
Like, did she try one time and something happened?
I don't think so.
Okay, I was just thinking of something, but I guess it's nothing.
I mean, she was just never that type of person, I guess.
Oh, she was never that type of person. Okay.
She never really went in for the, never really into the gentleman or the liquor, or she never smoked a day in her life.
Okay.
I mean, she always just liked her flowers and her books and her car.
Flowers, books, and car. Okay, good to know. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just hope everything goes okay.
Yes, if you don't see us around tomorrow, you probably want to inform the authorities.
Probably go back home to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah, you
probably
might.
go back to Wisconsin like tomorrow.
Yeah, you probably should write to your folks and see if they can get you on a train back home.
Why? Well, I mean, the contest is over. I still have to say I'm a little bit steamed about my fiction entry. Not when I thought I read the other entries and they were all very derivative and pedestrian.
Well, you know, as they say, you can't win them all.
Well, one day I will. One day I'm going to be the greatest writer ever. You can stake your money on it.
Okay.
What did you write for your entry?
Well, you see,
I've only really read the winners, so.
No, I mean, my sorry, because you read my poem, right?
Oh yeah. I read the poem.
Yes. Well, it's kind of the same thing. I had a dream. You see.
Mm-hmm.
Had a dream of a strange city shining under alien stars, and then a king in yellow sitting on his black throne. And so my poem was kind of like an ode to the city and to the great black lake that sits in its heart. And then my fiction entry was kind of an adventure tale about someone who, just a kid from a farm in Wisconsin, so maybe a little bit autobiographical there to start, who happens upon at the end of the night a strange feeling, and he walks out and there's a shimmering portal to another world, and he's called into it, and he finds himself at this strange kingdom and meets some unusual, interesting people, and I have to say a few lovely ladies, and has some adventures when he's there. I thought it was quite clever.
I don't think
Sorry.
that's a dream.
There was a port to where?
Oh, Carcosa is what I call it.
Carcosa.
Yeah. It's a kingdom on another world.
What? Were there like any creatures that were there in Carcosa?
I mean, not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's all made up. I just had a dream, and I woke up in the morning, kind of wrote it down, and I was like, what should I call this place? I was like, Carcosa, that sounds good. I'm often inspired by the things that happen around me.
Interesting.
Do you have any out of the writings?
Oh, yeah. You want to read them?
Yeah, sure. We'll take them along for the ride.
Oh, no, you can't take them.
Well, we'll give them back.
Well, I tell you what, you all be real safe and figure out what you got to figure out, and hopefully everything's okay. And then come back, and I'll see if I can't make a copy of some of my best short works.
John's gonna pull $2 out of his pocket. Be like, here's $2. Let me have the writings.
Well, they're back at my house, and some of
Well,
them are
then go
little
get 'em,
copies.
and
And some of them are things I wrote back in Wisconsin. I don't even have copies.
Well, $2 is yours if we can get the writings.
Well, I'll
before
tell
we
you what,
leave.
and he gives you the $2 back. How about this? You come back safe, and I'll give you copies of everything I got.
Price will go down.
I'll give it to you as payment for you helping me out.
Sounds good. You better just stay home and make copies of everything, okay?
That's what I'll do. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And he will spring in a step. Heads off.
There. He's safely out of the narrative, gang.
All right. I turned
Or
to
is he?
Eloise. I turned to Eloise and I say, "Is that Carcosa place? The one that Dr. Karaji ended up in? You think that's what happened to him?"
Maybe. Who knows where he is now? Probably still there, definitely.
Yes. He's for sure not chained in someone's basement.
Yes. I feel awfully guilty if that's where he ended up. So it sounds like a horrible place.
Well, to hear young Mr. Darla describe it, it was a lovely kind of fantasy kingdom. A little bit dark and strange, but he describes it as a lovely fantasy kingdom with a lovely wise king and a lot of pretty young princesses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not quite the same, but a little weird that there was a portal here. Did we mention the portal, John?
A portal? Wait, what?
Oh.
I don't even think we mentioned it to John.
No, we didn't. Don't worry about it, John. All right.
You can't just bring things up and tell me not to worry about it. There was a portal? What?
Well, yeah, of course. Here, I can explain more on the way, as I assume we're
Piling
headed
into one of the cabs.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is, I'll say you've gotten in the habit and are allowed by management, Maurice, to requisition cabs that are in for repair or maintenance.
Right.
This is one that, there's still a little bit that needs to be done on it, but it certainly is running.
Oh, fair enough.
So you can easily just say, hey, I'm going to take this one back with me and work on it.
Right.
No problem. So yes, you pile into one of the cabs and putter on off out into the more rural areas of Massachusetts. Hey, Maurice, would you give me a luck?
Luck. Let's see. 37 right now. All right. We don't regain luck at all after sessions, do we?
We did a luck advancement last time.
Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, we'll leave it now for now. 37. It's I rolled a 9.
Oh, okay. Well, good. So yes, the card gets you there.
Hooray!
And doesn't the engine doesn't die right as you're pulling up to the strange old church.
The spark plugs don't fly out.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't even know they have those. But anyway, yeah. So you're good. Right. Dang it. I was hoping that you would all get straightened out there, but it's fine. No, it's fine. So cool. Yes. You pull up as the sun sets. There are already a few cars there already. And I'll say that those successes in library use let you know that this was until, probably a decade ago, St. Andrew's Episcopalian.
Oh.
But was, due to probably Spanish flu, enough people in the congregation died that it just didn't make sense to maintain out here. And so it's kind of been sitting here by itself or without a lot of maintenance. And you can tell that as you approach. It's not a super duper old building. It's made primarily of wood. It's your typical kind of, A-frame with a little bell tower coming out the top, 2-story. At one point it was whitewashed, but a lot of that has faded off. But someone has been in and cleared the sort of underbrush around it. So although it does look a little bit worse for wear, someone has been, at least recently, caring for it. You can tell that someone has cleaned the windows, swept the stoop. But basically the cars are just kind of parked in a slightly overgrown, rutted field that serves as the front area of this church.
And that's why, John, we feel a little responsible for handling some of the weirder situations out here. And Aki's story really, made us think about some of these previous events from a few weeks ago.
Huh? Well,
Thus the summary of the portal.
Does this church look familiar to me at all?
I think as you were approaching, probably John was getting a little bit anxious. Given your last experience at a place of worship. But then as you kind of come around a corner and see it looks very mundane by comparison.
Okay.
The last one was rather gothic and stone, and a little creepy from the outside. Of course, it was in the middle of a storm. You didn't get a great look at it. This just looks like Some old
Okay.
church.
Well, there's some other things that I should probably tell you about, but on a different note, at least this isn't the church that was hit by the tornado.
Oh no, that was down by Fall River and was completely destroyed.
Right.
Otherwise, it'd be very hard for them to conduct worship if this was destroyed by the tornado.
It.
Oh, yeah, yes, but
It has not been hit by a tornado yet.
how quickly can snakes work?
Tornado.
Yeah. Cool. As you pull up, you see kind of a nicer, newer car that is apparently just pulled up in front of you. You see the doors open, or you see the driver's side door open, and a man kind of smartly dressed get out and then open the passenger side for a woman. They're both probably in their, late 30s, early 40s. Reasonably prosperous looking. Eloise, you probably recognize the man as one of the butchers in town. We'll say his name is Mr. Fredrickson. You may have had occasion of late to stop by and see if he had any bones or scraps.
Yes, exactly.
We'll say
good evening, Mr. Fredrickson.
Oh, Miss Eloise, he tips his hat at you. I didn't realize that you were part of the congregation here.
Oh, we were just invited to see things by Miss Folk.
Oh, yes.
You know, her nephew's in town because of the poetry contest. You know, the one from Wisconsin.
Yes.
Yes. But at any rate, he had wanted us to stop by, and we got to chatting, and she invited us to your service this evening.
Oh, well. Always welcoming to newcomers.
Yes, and this is my friend Maurice and John.
Hello.
This is Mr. Fredrickson, the butcher in town, of course, Maurice.
Ah, yes.
So he'll just, shall we go inside?
Yes.
Kind of looks
indeed.
up at the sky,
We'll kinda-
sees the sun going down. Service is about to start. Mrs. Fredrickson will come up to you, Eloise, and say, well, if you've never been here before, prepare yourself. The power of the Holy Spirit is strong with this congregation.
Oh, exciting. Much better than the services at
St. Mary's?
St. John. Yeah, St. Mary's.
St.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure.
We used to attend, and we never missed a mass, but it always just felt hollow somehow until we heard about this, until we heard about St. George's, and we have to say we were a little bit skeptical, but after that first communion, everything just seemed right somehow.
Well, I don't want to embarrass myself, but how does the first communion work exactly?
Well, just like you'd expect, you drink the blood and eat the body of our Lord.
What if I already done that?
What?
You haven't. I mean, I don't want to judge, of course, but you probably had some watered down wine and some crackers. Like I said, the power of the Holy Spirit is strong here. You've never experienced true communion the way that we do it.
Well, it certainly will be exciting.
It will. You'll never forget it. Come along.
I guess we follow her.
We follow them. It's fine and normal.
All right. So you enter into, there's probably only about a dozen or a little bit, not counting yourselves, a bit more than a dozen. Let's say a baker's dozen of people.
Oh, great. We only have to wrestle a dozen people.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not wrestling anybody.
Yeah.
From the way they all greet each other, it appears that you may be the only newcomers. Although, go ahead and give me psychology, maybe.
Oh, this again.
Yay.
Still a 10.
It's opportunity to fail.
Oh wait. A 0 plus a 10. That's just 10, right?
A 0 on the 10s die and a 0 on the 1s die.
No, it's a 10 on the 10s die and a 0 on the.
So that's 10. Okay, yes, that's 10.
Yeah. So I just succeed.
Okay, cool.
How bad is it if I super fail? Like, what if I got a 97?
And your psychology is under 50?
It's 40.
So that's a critical fail.
Yeah.
Something bad will happen as a result.
Yeah.
You want to leave that?
Nah.
You sure?
Yeah, let's try to make a good impression, right?
Oh.
What do I do with boons and stuff?
So a minor boon is a -10, and a major boon is reroll up to both.
I will try to reroll.
Okay. I just had a flash of that scene in Invasion of the Body Snatchers where everyone just points and rats.
So
Instead of it would be.
Yeah.
I got a 79 for the second roll.
Okay, well, but not a critical fail anymore.
That's not a critical fail. That's a regular, normal faux pas.
Regular, normal. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got Maurice with a success and John.
I just got a normal fail.
Normal fail. Okay, so Maurice, as you're looking around, you do spot a young man. He's clearly with a young woman, and kind of the way that they're holding hands and things. Maybe they're a young couple. But something gives you the sense that like maybe they're like betrothed. They don't give you the vibe of like being married yet, and they're relatively young. She seems, you can see her, that same bright-eyed, very intense kind of look on her face, and he seems a little like okay, a little cautious, or maybe just feeling a little bit out of place. So you get the read that maybe he also is a newcomer to this particular congregation.
I feel somewhat responsible for him, as Quakers feel responsible for all people, in a way. I kind of sidle up and it's like, hey, is this your first time here?
Oh, the young woman just like whips around and looks at you in a way that's like she does not welcome the intrusion. And the young man kind of stands up and says, "Oh, yeah, yes, it is. Are you a member of this church, sir?"
No, I'm new as well. I believe you look as nervous as I do. That's all.
Oh, yeah. And then as you say you're new too, the young woman's face, that moment of aggression just drops from it instantaneously. Oh, well, welcome. Yes,
how you doing?
my Charlie here is a little, he's never been churched.
Oh.
Yeah. So I told him that, if we were going to carry through with his proposal, that he needed to, find the Lord, as it were.
All right.
So he's just a little bit nervous, but I can tell from your carriage you're not entirely new to such things.
Well, no, I'm actually a Quaker, but fortunately,
Oh, I'm sorry.
my belief allows for many interpretations. There is no creed that we can't kind of take up if we don't want to. Or
Well,
if
good.
we
That open-mindedness will serve you well. See, Charlie, you'll be fine. And she just pats his hand and he holds it, kind of smiles and nods at you.
I don't think there's anything I can do for Charlie at this time, but it's just good to acknowledge, get a rapport with Charlie in case, we have to get him out of there. All right.
So where do you all sit? You want to sit in front?
Middle.
Sit in the middle. Okay.
Sure.
So you make your way back. This young woman and her betrothed are kind of right towards the very front. She seems to be like, you probably know, like, at what attracted your attention to him first, Maurice, was seeing her kind of drag him up toward the front, somewhat reluctantly. So you kind of make your way back to the midsection. And again, there's room in this place for probably 3 times as many people. So are you sitting right next to other people, or are you kind of finding a pew to yourselves?
John would probably find like an aisle seat somewhere within the middle sections. So he only has one person on his like left side or right side, but then it would be the aisle. So it's kind of like a quick escape if he needs to.
Yeah. Are you all sitting together, or are you dividing
I'll
yourselves?
sit in the row behind him.
Okay.
Wow. Now I have to pick sides. I'm going to sit next to Maurice.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense.
So we'll say John is at the aisle, and then Maurice is at the aisle behind John, and then Eloise is one away from the aisle. Cool. Kind of in the mid part. A few more people trickle in. It's still not quite 20 people total. And then you hear the bell toll. Go ahead and give me a listen.
Can I ask one thing real quick?
Yeah.
What does the altar look like?
There doesn't appear to be one.
So there's nothing.
There's just a podium.
No cross, just a podium. Okay.
There's just a podium.
Okay.
You can probably tell just from like the interior also hasn't been painted. You can probably tell just from the fading of the paint that there were some sort of, like, there probably was some sort of altar. There probably was a cross or something at some point, but that's all been taken away. Probably when the St. Andrews was abandoned or cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a podium.
And you just asked for a sanity roll?
A listen.
A listen. Oh, okay. %, 20. That was a failure. 66 over 20.
I got a 9 under 38.
Ooh, that's a hard success.
Well, if you had a hard success, then I'll just go ahead and keep my 19 under 60, which is just a. You said what, hard success is what you got?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and you got a hard success too.
I'll use 7 luck and make it an extreme.
Okay.
Just so we have all levels.
Yeah. So, Eloise, just before you hear the ringing of the bell, you hear creaking from above, like a great weight shifting. It's above and kind of behind you, because the little bell tower is on the front of this building. But it's enough that you just kind of like look behind, because you hear something moving and you see maybe a little bit of dust coming down from above. But then when you hear the bell toll, it's like, oh, it's probably someone up there ringing the bell. John notices this, but also the bell doesn't sound right. I mean, it's clearly a bell, but like you're used to like something hard, like a clacker or a mallet or something. Whatever it is that's striking the bell is softer. It's muted somehow. I mean, you still get the ring of the bell, but that moment of impact sounds softer.
Fleshy?
Maybe.
Fleshy.
And with that, a man steps up from the front pew, who's over to the side, and makes his way to the podium he's dressed kind of like a farmer. I mean, he's in clean clothes, right? So he doesn't look like he just came fresh from the field, but there's nothing special about him. He's not in any kind of priest's vestments. And he's not, and like I said, he's not in particularly nice clothes. He kind of smooths the thinning hair on his scalp a little bit and steps up and kind of clears his throat. He says, brothers and sisters, thank you for coming tonight. It's good to see you all. And it's also, then he kind of fixates on the new faces and good to see some new faces. Agatha here said that she was bringing some new friends. And Miss Waterston, I see you brought your fiance. Well, welcome to St. George's, everyone. Let's begin with a moment of prayer. And he kind of bows his head. And then begins humming. Sort of tunelessly. Just a kind of grumbly, rumbly. His voice is a little gravelly. And then almost in a wave, the people in the front row and then the second row and the third row begin picking up this same kind of faintly sliding, kind of atonal humming. It's not what I would call melodic or particularly nice sounding. What do you do?
Does the spirit compel me to start humming the same way?
I don't know. Does the spirit compel you, or does your super agreeableness insanity?
My agreeableness insanity says, "Oh, I should probably do this."
Okay.
Be silent for a few seconds, figure it out, and be like, "Oh, they're humming, and the people behind me are humming. I can probably do the same thing."
Sure. And you do.
This is working kind of is in exact opposition to how a Quaker like a session would be going. The Quakers just sit in silence for an hour and listen. So this is not particularly appealing to me.
Yeah. And it's there's no melody to follow, so it's all kind of off key.
Yeah.
So for anyone musically inclined, it's probably a little bit, God, why? But it's not like it's like it's not driving you insane. There's no unusual effect. It's just a bunch of random people humming random kind of notes in a slightly disorganized way. And that goes on. So there's a point where it gets weird. Just like, when is this ever going to stop? And then it goes on like twice as long as that.
Ugh.
To the point where even Eloise, who's agreeable, is like, is this literally all we're going to do? And it kind of feels like it's 15 minutes, but it's probably only about 3. But it's one of those things where it's like, is this going to end? And then as if synchronized, everyone but Eloise stops.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ellie's like,
And it's enough for people to kind of give you a look and then smile at you, acknowledging that you are participating. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you for your contribution. I hope we all feel the nearness of our Lord. I know I do. Do we have any testimonials? Does anyone want to bring their pains or their worries to our Lord for forgiveness and cleansing? Or does anyone have a testimony to our Lord's power? All eyes turn to the newcomers. Don't be shy. You can step up. Our Lord relieves many burdens, but all that's required is confession. Burden of sin, burden of doubt, anger, greed.
Maurice raises his hand. I'll do it.
Painfully raises your ouch.
This is my right arm.
Okay. well, yeah. Yes, brother, come on up. I'll go and sit back down in the pew.
I walk on up. Probably everyone's probably looking at me.
Yeah.
Because I'm brand new. That's like, hello, my name is Maurice.
Maurice, they all say in unison.
Oh, hi. That's an interesting. Recently I was in an altercation, and it cost me a lot of the mobility in my left shoulder. But it was in service of trying to save someone, a lot of people actually, and while that's noble and whatnot, I was unable to save another person. I was incapable of saving that person, and in fact, I vilified their name afterwards, and it gives me no end of guilt since I've done it, and I wish I hadn't. Yeah, but I tell myself it was in service of the Lord, but I'm not sure if I believe that. And maybe the camera flashes back to him, Dr. Karaji, and the incident in the last episode of Cavendish Collection, and what happened there.
With the exception of the newcomers, the entire congregation is just staring at you wide-eyed, with like half smiles on their faces.
Maurice did this to see what happens, and this is creeping him out to no end.
As your story kind of peters out and you stand there, again, almost as one, their heads bow and you hear that, Maurice. Well, thank you, brother. Mighty powerful testimony. Don't worry.
Thank you.
The Lord heals, and the Lord can wash away your sins and doubt. You've come to the right place.
I acknowledge the, I'm going to say pastor, and just take my seat again.
Anyone else want to testify? Any other burdens you would want to lay at the feet of our Lord? You there, pointing at John.
Yes.
Don't hold on to it, son. You're among friends. I sense that you have a question, a need that you don't think that our Lord can fulfill. Well, I'm here to tell you our Lord can accomplish many miracles, including whatever it is that you're looking for. So why don't you come on up here and tell us?
John's gonna be hesitant and then kind of stand up where he's at, and he's gonna speak where he is currently standing. Just like act a little bit more shy. About 3 weeks ago, a friend got injured at another church and hasn't forgiven himself for it. And also happened to get an amulet that he was there to try to take. And she happens to still have it, and is trying to obtain it.
Everyone just kind of looks at you quizzically. And then the leader, if you will take a few steps towards you and say, no, it's all right, son. You can speak your truth. There's something missing in your life. I can feel it. Can you feel it? And he asks one of the parishioners, and she says, I sure can. We can all feel it. there's a question down deep inside you. Question you tried to answer, but that you can't. The Lord can. Lord can reveal many things. All you have to do is ask.
At the age of 25, I lost my memory, and I have no clue what happened. I have no recollection of what happened from my 25th birthday and before. I don't know who my parents are. I don't know who my family is, but I do have a single picture of this lady, and he's gonna kind of pull a picture out of his wallet of me and this one lady. I have no clue who she is, but apparently I had relationships with her.
The congregation, it's almost like a gasp, but it's like a slow motion gasp. Like everyone kind of opens their mouths and like they're breathing in your words. See, that wasn't so hard. You know, the human mind doesn't do so well with mysteries. Sometimes we feel like we have to protect ourselves from them instead of embracing them. Well, this is a place where we embrace the mystery of the Lord, find healing and power, sanctity, and forgiveness, and eternal life. You also are in the right place. Who else?
How about me? Ow.
He'll step back up to the standing beside the podium. Oh, and then as you come up to the podium, he'll step back and give it to you. Yeah.
Exactly. Hi, my name is Eloise. I'm worried that I'm a little too agreeable to what everyone's suggesting me to do for some reason. But, you know, I really like helping people out. I'm also a little worried that I might mess up my friend's big experiment. And she's working really hard to become dean at the school. So I want to make sure everything is great for her.
And they're all... it's not the same kind of puzzled. But there's just like a little bit of a, huh, in everyone's face. And the man will come up and go, oh, you shouldn't be worried about that. You just need something else to focus on, something even more important, something for you, not just for your friends. Something greater than anything you've ever known, like our Lord.
That does sound like a good idea.
And doing the bidding of our Lord can never go wrong. Seeking to please other people can sometimes lead you astray, lead you to make bad decisions and mistakes. That's wisdom that you're sharing, sister. But doing the Lord's bidding is the best way to ensure that you're on the right track, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to consider these words.
The young man, Charlie, as she comes to say, well, we'll stand up, and kind of like his girlfriend will kind of push him, and he'll go up and say, well, thank you all for having me. I just, it's a lot, and my family has a lot of expectations of me, and I thought that the right thing to do would be to settle down and take up the family business and marry my sweetheart over here. And she just said that I needed to find the Lord, if that was going to work. And so I'm here to do my best. And they all kind of are perusing him like they're trying to see through him, and kind of there's a vague sense of disappointment as they stare at him. But then the leader says, well, you also are in the right place. I'm sure we can clarify for you. And as always, happy wife, happy life. You're starting off on the right foot. Well, welcome, newcomers. If that's all the testimonial, I think it's time for communion. And everyone kind of, communion. So he's going to go back into the little vestibule. He kind of off to the side of this little area, and wheel out this really squeaky cart made out of metal. It's clearly like one of the wheels is busted, so it's like dragging, and it's not quite even, so it's kind of wobbling back and forth, making a lot of clanking. But it does have this big kind of pitcher on it and some sort of covered bowl. And those of you who have taken communion are like, oh, okay, wine and wafers. All right. But like the pitcher is a little bit cracked, and the bowl is metal, but a little bit dented and corroded. So it doesn't look like it's nice, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then he will start with the front row with the pitcher. And people come up and kind of tilt their heads back and open their mouths wide. And he just kind of pours some of this wine into their throats. Because the young man, Charlie, was up near the front. He's the first of the newcomers to go, and he kind of goes up there with his betrothed, and he kind of doesn't quite get the angle right, and the leader kind of has to tilt his head back farther and then pours it in. You hear a little bit of someone stands up and kind of pats him on the back, and he nods at them and goes and sits down. By the time it gets to the middle of the congregation, what do you do?
Can we pass? Is it acceptable to pass?
This is obviously obvious. I turn to Eloise, and it's like, this is obviously some cult nonsense or some like they're just trying to guilt us into doing what they want.
Oh, I mean, communion usually is kind of like that, but usually you don't have to angle and they like don't just pour it down like that. You know, it's usually just like a
They're
gentle
being
little sip or
sanitary.
something.
They don't want to drink out of the same cup as everyone.
Is there anyone sitting directly in front of me in the row?
Sure. Or not. Which do you want?
I would prefer
Luck
not.
roll.
Okay. 14 under 54?
So yeah,
Ooh.
there isn't.
Okay. When he goes to do like the next row to like come down, John's gonna try to hop up a row.
Well, the people are like getting up by rows and kind of making filing up. Yeah, he's not carrying it around to them. So there's not a real.
You meant he was okay.
There's not a real obvious way that you can avoid it, especially since there's only four people that they don't know.
Yeah.
But in fact, John, you were the first, as the other people next to you across the aisle get up. One of them kind of looks at you and says, well, come on.
I guess he'll get up and follow behind everybody.
Okay.
And kind of look back at Luis and all of them and kind of, yeah, okay.
All right. So when it gets to your turn, what do you do?
He's just gonna try to like nod it off and try to follow everybody.
Oh no. Well, this is why you're here, son. Don't be afraid. And also don't do like Charlie there. Don't breathe in at the same time. Can't have you choking. Here, just tilt your head back. Yeah, like that.
Tilt his head back.
And a little dollop.
Yeah.
A little dollop. Yeah, it's a little warm. It's like room temperature-ish. It's a little thick. It's a little salty.
Tastes like iron.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you swallow?
Go for it. I don't know.
Or you could just make a con check.
Okay, I'll do that. Con is 50. That is an 8 under 50.
That's really good.
That's all.
So you
That's
can,
an extreme success.
You can choose not to swallow if you'd like.
I'll not swallow.
Okay, so you're just gonna hold it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and give me, I think, fast talk.
Okay.
Even though you're not talking, I think fast talk is probably the closest skill.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like spitting bad cooking into a napkin.
Can I use a major bane for this one, guys?
You mean boon?
Boon, my bad.
Okay.
Because I got a 97 over 40.
Yeah, you probably wanna do that. Go ahead. Go right for that.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like you're trying to speed run your way to becoming a
Listen,
snake
I'm
person.
already speedrunning into this cult, so don't worry about it.
All right, that's a 30 under 40.
That's
Okay.
better.
You hold it in your mouth and then you kind of close it and then you make sure to create the swallow motion.
Thank you, Misha.
Just do a dry swallow in your throat. Maybe I mean a little bit because it's liquid in your mouth, but yeah. So then you head back to now your mouth is full of this stuff for a while until you can find a way of getting rid of it without anyone noticing. Cool. Then the next row comes, which means that Maurice and Eloise.
All right.
When it comes to, I will say Maurice's turn comes first. What do you do?
Is this alcohol? My doctor said I was supposed to stay off alcohol.
No, it's the blood of our Lord.
But the blood of many people's lords are alcohol.
Oh, no.
What's in this?
It's the blood of our Lord. It isn't
Sorry.
alcohol.
Do you have like your lord in the back or something? Is that what you're saying?
No. You don't need to be nervous.
Pretty nervous. The Quakers don't usually do this kind of stuff.
More's the shame. But you're open-minded, right?
I like being open-minded.
Yes.
I tilt my head back and I just drink it.
Glug. And you swallow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, number 1, make a constitution.
All right. So that's 70. I'm well below it. 41 under 70.
Cool. You feel it is not alcohol. It is exactly as described to John, but you feel a similar sort of warmth in the pit of your stomach that spreads throughout your body, and you feel just a series of sharp pink, pink, pink pains along this kind of half circle of scars in your shoulder where you were bitten.
Right.
And that momentary flare of pain becomes a very pleasing warmth, and you can just feel your shoulder relaxing. It's almost like there's a low level sort of ache. You can just feel that dropping, and I think Eloise, because you're next to him, you can see he's been holding that one shoulder like maybe half an inch higher than the others. You see him kind of and maybe do a little bit of this. It feels much better.
Amazing.
Eloise.
I don't think that I have the right fortitude to not swallow it.
You can always try.
I've just told. I mean, everyone here was telling me, "Oh, you should drink this." I feel a little. It's not a good idea, so I guess I should try not to.
Yeah. I mean, you are not currently having a bout of madness, so you are free to do whatever you'd like.
All right, I got a 21 under 60 for Constitution.
So you do not have to swallow it if you don't want to.
I will try not swallowing it.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a fast talk.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where the ruse falls apart, I think. Oh, that's not too bad. It's merely a 12 over 5. So I guess I could use a minor boon to lower it to a 2? I'll do that.
Okay.
The less people that are infested with snake people, the better.
Listen, we'll see. I'm not. It worked out for you. Your shoulder's better.
Yes. So you also now have a mouthful of this stuff and goes down.
Delicious.
Oh, that's a cat. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The communion works its way to the back. And then the leader comes and takes the bowl. And now for the body of our Lord. He opens it up. And there's something white in it. But it's not crackers. It's like little white marbles. Little, about this big. Kind of glistening in this bowl. Everyone turns to look at the newcomers. He will step first to Charlie and say, Charlie, will you accept our Lord into your heart and mind and body to guide you, to give you strength and the promise of everlasting life? And Charlie will kind of look at his girlfriend and she's, yes, I will. And the leader pulls out one of these little orbs and hands it to him. Clearly Charlie is a Catholic because he kind of has his hands out and takes it and kind of looks at her like, are you sure? And kind of looks down at this thing like, and then he just kind of goes, thank you, preacher. Little trail of some sort of goo out the side of his mouth. And then coming right back towards John. Yes.
So with all of the attention on Charlie for a second there, John's going to try to kick his leg out and kind of spit down his leg with all of the stuff so it doesn't make like a plop on the ground.
Into your boot.
Not so much into his boot, but just down his leg, so it kind of runs more down his leg instead of just like a plop on the ground.
Sure, why not?
Try to get away with. Okay.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I'm
Just
also while they're looking at Charlie. I need to grab out a rag or handkerchief from my bag and just kind of,
yeah,
and then just.
Sure. I mean, no one's really paying attention to you at the moment.
Yeah.
Cool. So now the body comes to John, and you are asked the same question: will you accept our Lord into your?
He's gonna try to pluck one out himself.
Sure.
He's gonna try to go for one that looks like the smallest.
You hear everyone go again, but you pull out a little one.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I'm gonna plop it in my mouth. And then I'm gonna kind of try to hide it in my cheek and kind of chew it, act like I'm chewing it, and then do a fake swallow.
Okay. Oh man, what is this gonna be? Ew.
Is there a performance?
There is, but you have a 5 in it. Because it's probably acting.
I don't even see acting on here.
It's under arts and crafts.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the specialties under arts and crafts. So which I think has a default value of 5.
Could I go with maybe disguise? Would that work?
It's relevant. I would say make a hard disguise.
Okay.
Because you've had some skill. You've got some skill about making things look different than other things. It's not quite the same, but yeah, try to make a hard disguise.
Well, that is a 78 or a 33
No,
over 35.
So that's
Yeah.
78 is a hard. So you had to try. You had to get a 35. So you did not get a success or a hard success. So what happens is, as you're going to pretend to chew, you actually do a little bit, like your teeth catch the edge of this thing, and you feel a little bit of give and then a pop, like a boba. And probably a little wriggling. Eloise, what do you do?
I will wait for one to be presented to me,
Yes.
and then I will take it and also try to fake eat it.
All right.
I'm equally bad at acting as I am fast talking, so I can probably just try to act a little.
You can do act or hard fast talk.
It'd be better to do a regular fast talk. A regular acting, right? If they're both 5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Attempt to act.
I also completely fail acting at a 53.
Cool, but not a critical fail. And you weren't pretending to chew, so I'll just say that you like go, oh, I'm going to pretend to swallow, and swallow it. So that's going to be fine. John, what do you do?
Oh, yeah.
There's something wriggling between your teeth and gums.
I'm gonna chew it.
You going to bite it?
Yeah. I mean, if it's wiggling in my teeth, I mean, I'm just gonna. I don't want the thing to go alive down my throat, so I might as well try to kill it.
Give me a hard brawl. Or no, a regular brawl with a setback, because this is not like quite in your range of things that you've ever practiced. So yeah, give me a brawl with a penalty die.
Okay. How do penalty dice work again?
Roll the d10 twice, take the higher. No, the d10. Roll the 10s die twice and take the higher.
Okay. So 55 over 35.
Cool. It got a hard success in fighting back. So as you go to bite it, you feel it moving around, and at least for the moment, the attention has gone to Eloise, so people aren't noticing you going as you're trying to chase this thing around your mouth, and then you feel a really awful pain at the back of your throat. And you take only 1 point of damage.
Okay.
But Eloise, as you swallow this thing, you kind of look over and see John kind of doing this, and then immediately go, oh! And then just blood starts running out his mouth. It's running down your throat and out your mouth, and you're...
Oh no.
What happens?
I'm gonna try to spit it out,
Or
or like maybe like put my finger down my throat to try to like act like I'm just trying to throw up.
It feels like it's attached itself to the back of your throat and is busy eating through it. So you're gonna try to reach in there and grab it.
Just try to throw up more than anything.
Okay.
I mean, I'll try to grab it, but I mean, more like a throw up style to kind of disguise what I'm doing.
Trying to get it out. Okay, cool. Yeah. Go ahead and give it a go. I'm gonna say it's another brawl.
Okay.
This
30?
is actually how you fight
Under
diseases.
30 under 35, so regular success.
Yes.
It failed. So as you reach your finger back there to try to make yourself throw up, you feel this sinewy thing like wrap itself around your finger and start to squeeze as it's trying, and then you kind of feel your finger pulled in as it's trying to burrow its way into your throat. No, first of all, go ahead and give me a sanity check.
Okay.
I think for Eloise too, because you can, for all of you, because you can see this.
Oh, okay. 40.
37 under 46.
All right.
90. It looks like it's a 92 over 48.
Cool.
89 over 33. No, 50. No, 33. My current sanity. Haha.
Well, so Maurice and Eloise take 3.
All right.
And John succeeded, so you take 1. But you did succeed at the brawl, so you reach in, just crank your mouth uncomfortably wide as you're trying to fit your whole fist in. As it wraps around your index finger, you reach in with your thumb and grab a hold of it, and it's very slippery and strong. And it tries, like once it feels like you're trying to get a grip on it, it's trying to wiggle out, but you just pinch it really hard between your finger and forethumb and start to pull. It is horribly painful. It's like giving yourself a tonsillectomy with a pair of pliers. And it's everything you can do not to just let go, because it hurts so bad trying to pull this out, but you just, like, your instinct is if you let this thing keep doing what it's doing, it's going to be bad. And then finally with an audible, like, ripping popping sound, you pull this thing out. You are going to take 1 more point of damage.
Okay.
And now this little thing is held between your finger and your forefinger and thumb, doing this, wiggling around. It snaps its little head toward you. It does look somewhat snake-like, but as it opens up its mouth and its tiny little mouth and hisses at you, these appendages unfurl on either side, kind of like wings. And it begins kind of struggling and flapping and beating them as if it's trying to fly away out of your hand.
I'll let it go.
Cool. You let it go. It awkwardly flops a little bit, and then lands at the ground, lands on the floor, and begins kind of wriggling. Because of all this distraction, everyone's been like really focused on this. You all kind of look up to see that the congregation is now crowded around you with a look of displeasure on their faces. One of them will reach down and very gently cradle this creature, pull it up, open their mouth wide as it crawls in. You can see as something much larger shifts in their throat to make room for this smaller one. And then the leader says, "Well, now, that won't do. That won't do at all. What are y'all gonna do?"
Time to get your shine box. Get out of here.
John's gonna turn and smack the plate out of the guy's hand.
Oh, good idea.
Okay.
Oh. I like that.
If they're cradling these creatures, they're gonna be more worried about these eggs. So I'm just gonna smack it out of his hand and.
All right. He will try to effectively dodge to keep it out of your hands, to keep it from getting knocked down. But so go ahead and roll a brawl.
Okay. 21 under 35.
Yeah, you got a 91.
Normal success.
Yeah, you got a 91. So you do. You just, like, with the flat of your hand, just knock this thing up, and all these little orbs just go flying everywhere. And you can see the congregation almost as one watch them and start to go and like try to catch them, and they catch a few, and then others fall down, and then they all kind of like very carefully, gingerly start looking around, trying to pick them up, obviously being very cautious not to step on them. So that's John. Oh, and your dexterity is super high, right, John? Yep. What is your dexterity, Maurice and Eloise?
70.
Cool.
60.
Okay, so then Maurice, then Eloise.
All right. So as I'm usually am, I'm protective of Eloise, who is presently right beside me. I basically take her and I kind of like, it's sort of like holding a football and then just trying to move people out of the way, like I'm a what, running back or whatever.
Yeah.
And we just try to make our way outside of the outside of the crowd. And hopefully to the
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna say you're gonna have to now. Are you like whacking at people with your wrench, or are you just trying to shove them out of the way?
I'm just trying to shove them out of the way.
Okay. Go ahead and give me. I'm gonna say a brawl with a penalty die because you are
Penalty
technically outnumbered.
All right. Well, it's not going to be good because it started off with a 90. Yeah, it's another 90. 98. I rolled 2 98s.
What is your brawl though?
My brawl is it's like 70. Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to keep that?
No, I definitely don't. I'll use a boon, please.
You might want to see what kind of boonage there is.
All right. Do I just roll it once more?
So we have 5 major boons, so you might want to spend one of those, and then just re-roll one or both.
One or both. Well, it's an 8, so I might as well try to get lower. 30. That's a lot better.
Yes, it is significantly. They got a 96. But somehow you managed still to fail. But so good, yes. So you are able to, by kind of pushing some people away, maybe making them stumble, which they're very cautious because they like almost step on one of these little orbs, and kind of manhandling Eloise over the back of the pew. You're able to kind of start making your way back that way. Eloise, well, before you do anything, go ahead and give me a Constitution check.
Oh, yeah. Because of the egg inside me.
Yeah.
Egg. Egg. 71 over 60.
You want to keep that?
No. I don't think I do. I'm just going to re-roll this one. I'm
Use
using
another
another
major
major boon. Yeah.
I got it.
Now's the time. Blow through them, right?
Probably.
Wow. 61 over 60. So I guess I'll use a luck to make it 60.
Okay. Yeah. You're not quite sure. It just, I mean, like you've got instant heartburn and nausea just because you've now seen what comes out of the thing that you just swallowed.
Yeah.
So you're not quite sure what's going on, but it's not good. But for now, mechanically, you're fine. But you're up next. You've been physically hauled over the back of this pew to kind of get away from most of this gathered crowd.
Right. I should probably try to run over to the car because it's time to go.
Oh, you know what? Also give me a spot hidden because you're in the right. I'm going to say that you're facing the right direction. Yeah.
How you doing, Dice? You feeling good? Feeling lucky? 55 under 60.
Cool.
Nice.
It's a combination of seeing and hearing. I mean, there's a lot of commotion going around right behind you. But your vision is attracted by another fall of dust. And you could hear another dong of the bell. And you can see some of the boards that form the ceiling and probably the floor of the story above begin to bow downward.
Is it that's towards the exit?
Yeah, directly above the exit.
Okay.
Is the belfry breaking?
I'm assuming there's a giant snake up there, to be honest. Not that I'm expressing this out loud. This is me speaking. However, I guess I'll be like, we gotta get out of here quick. The ceiling's coming down. Is probably what I'll say as I try to get out of here quick.
Cool. And so you're going to take off?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you going to try to pull Maurice with you or just run?
I can try to pull him with me.
Yeah, just give me a strength.
Oh yeah. I'm super strong. That is 55 over 45.
Uh-oh.
I could use a minor boon and drop that down by 10.
Sure
Our favorite
could.
thing. I'll do that.
that's
So then it's 45 for 45.
Cool.
perfect.
So it's just enough.
I'll type that in.
I'm gonna say some of the congregants' hands have latched on to Maurice, but you're able to pull him out before they really get a good grip on him. You guys aren't moving super fast, but you're moving your way towards the entrance. Now it's everyone else's go. So, John and Maurice,
Uh-oh.
would you like to dodge or fight back?
Dodge.
It's going to be with a penalty die for both of you because you're outnumbered.
Still dodge.
What is my dodge? I don't know. It's a 50. I think I have better chances of fighting back.
Okay.
What exactly are the benefits of doing either?
So dodge means if you succeed, you just hop out of the way, and fighting back means if you beat them, you get to do damage.
Okay, so they're both negative wise, they're both the same, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, then with a penalty die, you say.
Yeah.
I will fight back. Okay, 11 on the first one. 21. That is really good.
Yes, it is. That's a hard success. Well done.
That's a hard
John?
one, isn't it? Yep.
45.
With a penalty
So-
die, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
45 under 47.
Okay, so just a regular
Oh.
success. So
Correct.
going against John, we've got a regular success. Attacker beats. Active beats the thing. And we got 45 against Maurice, which is a regular success. And Maurice, you got a hard success?
Yes.
Okay, so cool. So Maurice, you're going to do some damage. John is going to take some damage.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna hit him with my monkey wrench, which I believe was a D8.
Plus,
okay.
if you have a damage bonus, I think.
I do a D4.
Yeah, so roll a D8 and D4.
6 plus 3, 9.
So the butcher.
I didn't
Go.
like him.
Yeah. Goes. You're not quite sure what he's trying to do, because he is reaching out towards you, but then he kind of like, is he gonna try to kiss me? What? This is weird. He extends his head and neck towards you, and in his mouth, you can hear it popping as it opens wide, as this creature lunges out. It is a much larger version of the creature you just saw John pull from his throat. And as it pops out, those same kind of wing-like frills spray out, covered in flecks of spittle and maybe a little bit of blood, and it reaches to snap at you. But you connect, I'm going to say, with the largest target, which is the butcher's head, and do how much damage?
9, I believe, is what I got. Yes.
You cave in the butcher's skull
Yes.
in a really disgusting fashion. So I need
Gross.
everyone to give me a sanity check, probably multiple sanity checks at this point, but at least one
Look.
sanity check.
This is in no way a violation of my Quaker beliefs at all.
For sure is.
For sure. Sorry, what am I at right now?
3 under 45.
43 right now.
Cool.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm well under 26, or is that a 9? Either way, that's a 9, but either way, I'm fine.
Okay.
34 over 30.
Oh, and you can't spin luck.
No,
I'm pretty
unfortunate.
sure I'm filing this under the category of crime against God, so I think I'm all right with this.
Listen, we were just at service. You got to confess sins, so you get to do it again. I'm sure it works like that.
So-
Quakers don't really have that, but whatever. Yeah.
So John and Maurice take 1, Eloise takes 3.
All right.
And
Good
then-
news, I've reached my breaking point.
Yes.
42.
Yes, you have. Let's see.
Pretty close.
Cool. Oh, well, be thinking about how that's going to trigger there, Eloise, or else I can make something up. For John, it is much the same situation, only this one, you were dodging the person, like, to avoid their hands and weren't expecting the strike.
Something to shoot. Yeah.
And the creature leaps from this person's mouth. You take 4 points of damage as it latches onto, kind of like getting 2 fangs just in the kind of hollow above your clavicle.
Mm-hmm.
And it clamps on and begins trying to get its serpentine body to like wrap around your neck.
Okay.
It's not particularly painful. But do go ahead. Oh, not yet. That's next round. Great. So, Maurice has murdered someone. Eloise, what's going on as you hit your threshold?
Well, I got one thing that I'm thinking about. You know, it's important for this experiment to function. We need more food sources. And you know what these eggs seem to make is a lot of baby snakes. And that's like forever food. So if I could just get some of these eggs, like right now.
Yes.
I don't want to look at this. This is gross. But down here on the floor, eggs. Great. Love them. Would love to grab them.
Yes. So instead of running for the entrance, Eloise is going to drop onto her hands and knees and start gathering up the eggs. And popping them in your mouth, right?
Well, some of them, like peak storage, you know?
Right.
And then some of them go in the bag, because we'll need some for later.
Okay. Cool. So you become an egg collector, whatever that mania is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Egg collecting.
Great. Well, the good news is anyone who was going to attack you sees you now going after the eggs and makes an assumption about that.
Good.
So
I'm
they
glad
don't
for that,
they
for
don't
me.
attack you. So back up. John, go ahead and give me a constitution, please.
Mm-hmm. 40 under 50.
Cool.
So a success.
You take 1 more point of damage.
I am at 3.
As you are kind of looking down this thing, it is, you know how leeches start real skinny
Mm-hmm.
and then start to get kind of bloated? You can feel like weakness starting to permeate you, and you can see this thing getting thicker as you watch.
Is it still attached to the person that? Okay.
Oh no, it leapt. This one leapt fully out of that person's body, and that person is now kind of like super disoriented, kind of just looking around. So one of the other congregants sees that person begin to stumble, like they might step on one of these eggs that are now scattered everywhere, and then just clocks him, and like knocks him upside the head, and then physically throws him a good 8 feet out of the area where the eggs are. You have a sense that getting this thing off you is probably a really important thing to do.
Yeah. I would say John would probably pull out his pocket knife, and just try to stab it. I think would probably be the easiest way to kind of try to get this thing off of him. So that's what he's going to do.
Cool. Now, are you just like stabbing at it towards yourself? Or are you like grabbing a hold of it to try to like get an angle?
I would say that he would probably just kind of do one of these things.
Okay.
It's kind of like not exactly at himself, but like towards it, since it's probably this big snake thing coming off of him, right?
Yep. Well,
So, yeah, he would try
its head is latched on here, and then the tail is trying to wrap itself around your neck, but it's clearly
Okay. Yeah, like I said, he would probably come at it like this direction, so he doesn't not exactly hit himself. He might still kind of hit himself, but not.
Yeah. Well,
But-
it depends on what you roll.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It'd be brawl, right?
I think I might give you a bonus die on this because it can't like move. It can't try to bite at you because it's already locked down, and it can't like leap out of the way because it's literally attached to you. So if you're like, you can literally just press your knife against it and push, which is a pretty ideal situation. So I'll give you a bonus die.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing because that's a 64. 44 over 35. I'm going to assume brawl, right?
Yeah.
Um.
Might want to spend some stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and spend 10 luck and drop that to a 34, unless I can use a minor
We have
boon?
one minor boon left.
Okay, I'll do that, and I'll just do the same thing, right?
The minor boons are putting in the work.
Major
Cool.
boons have been putting in the work.
Yes. And also, thanks, Roger's Why, it's ovophilia is now what Eloise has.
Okay.
Cool. So yes, you go ahead and roll your damage.
So I don't have a damage on here for the pocket knife.
Do you have a damage bonus?
No.
So I think it's just a D4.
Okay.
It depends. Is it like a little pen knife, or is it a full on?
I would say it's probably, I don't know, probably a good sized pocket knife, maybe like 6 inches.
Dagger like. So make it D6.
Okay.
What is your knife there, Eloise?
Mine is knife small, like a switchblade or something. Small switchblade.
And what's
so
the
that's
damage on
a
it?
Sorry, a D4.
D4. Okay, so it's a D4.
Yeah.
It's probably the
Okay.
same thing.
Yeah. All right, so then I'll roll a d4 then.
2?
Yep. No
Okay,
damage die, or no bonus to it.
Yeah, so you do it doesn't let go, but you do like get it in fairly well. You think you might need to try to repeat that procedure if you're able.
Am I able to move and do this? Kind of like
Yeah.
try to get out. Okay, so I'm gonna try to like move at least to like a wall or try to get around the group a little bit.
Go ahead and give me a dodge with a setback because you are outnumbered.
Okay. So that's a 16. And a 46 under 47.
Cool. Collectively they failed. So you're good. So yeah, you're able to get kind of out of immediate danger of them attacking you. And they're kind of not worried because they figure you're going to be down next round. So you've done your thing. So Maurice.
What have I done so far? I've led Eloise out to closer to the exit, I assume.
Yeah. So you're now between the mob and the exit. Yeah, having just kind of, when you caved in the butcher's skull, his body fell back and probably a bunch of them fell back too. You can see this thing like just crawl out of his mouth, leaving the corpse behind.
And I see Eloise basically picking up eggs for some
she
unknown reason.
stopped looking at everything. She's just like looking around the eggs. Gotta pick them all up. What a mess.
Yep.
This strikes me as unusual behavior, and I feel like she's focusing on the wrong thing, so I'm gonna... This seems like a bit of a power move, but I'm gonna grab her by, like, the back of her nursing coat and drag her towards the car. Quite forcefully, unfortunately, but if she wants to survive, this is her best chance.
Let's just do a contested brawl.
All right, contested brawl.
This is a maneuver, not attempting to do harm.
Elvis
got a 1.
Oh, my dice are so happy.
I got 51.
I got
under 70.
18 under 45.
What?
So perfect. So Maurice, as you go, we gotta go. We don't have time for eggs, and start to pull on her. She wheels around with the doctor's bag, not enough to do harm, but enough to like knock you off.
No, more eggs. a complicated series of maneuvers where suddenly I'm still collecting eggs and you're just like, I thought where'd my grip go? And I'm like, it happens all the time. Go on ahead. I'll get the eggs. You start the car.
I gotta. I'm incredibly confused, but I do know that we do have to start the car now, so I do that.
Okay. So you run out. Eloise, you're going to pick up some eggs. Go ahead and give me a skill of your choice. Dexterity makes sense.
Yeah, dexterity seems fine.
I mean, you're going to get a couple no matter what you do. But we'll just see how good you are. Or it could be a spot hidden if spot hidden's better.
I got 52 under 60.
Okay. Yeah, you get a good half dozen.
Yeah, that's nice.
And people continue to ignore you because many of the other ones are scrambling on the floor for eggs as well. That actually, if you guys live, that decision to scatter the eggs will probably be the thing that saves your lives. So
if we were to live, that was a smart play. One of us might live. It's Maurice.
Great. So Maurice takes off out, and you left this round, which is good. Seeing you flee, several of the others begin chasing after you. The ones that were kind of on the outside where they don't have to worry so much about stepping on eggs. Like 3 or 4 of them start chasing after you. And you make it through the door. You kind of look back and they're all running at you. And they have these creatures just hanging out of their mouths, hissing in your direction. And they're all running. And then with an almighty crash, something massive falls through the ceiling and lands on them and smashes them, which is good for Maurice, maybe less good for other people. It's some sort of it's not serpentine in the fact that it's not covered in scales. It's more like ribbed, kind of earthworm like, or like a pupa almost. Caterpillar. But it looks like it's maybe just the tail, but it's quite large. Cool. So, what is everyone else going to do? I think John is moments away from death. I think they're going to focus on the eggs, and they don't currently register Eloise as a threat because she's also picking up eggs. So, yeah. So, John, at the start of your turn.
Constitution?
Take a Constitution.
That is a 3 under 50, so that's a extreme success.
Take 1.
Okay.
And what do you do?
Well, the door to get out was just blocked.
Yep.
Is there any windows?
Yeah.
At this point, John is trying to fight this thing and try to get out of this place
Yeah,
at the same time.
Probably an order of operations to see if you can get this thing off you first. Yeah.
Correct. So he's just gonna try to stab this thing again. I think he's going to realize how easy it was to kind of pierce it. And so he's gonna try to.
You could have left. Yeah, you could
more.
have left the knife in there if you want to, and just use this round to stick it in further and start to work it around. Yeah. So same thing with the bonus die. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say he's gonna aim more for like the head this time, kind of like where.
I think you probably were already pretty close to up by the head where it was attached to you. So yeah. Give it a roll. Spend all your luck if you have to.
An extreme.
You said a bonus
with
die,
a bonus
right?
die. Bonus die.
Okay,
So
well,
we roll
first...
the 10s and take the lowest.
Cool, because that's 100.
Oh no.
Stab
so
yourself in the
a,
jugular.
Yeah. So a 30 under 35.
Okay.
So a success.
Do a D4.
That is another 2.
Cool. It is not enough to kill it, but you hit something in it, and then like some combination of whatever is inside this thing and your own blood just sprays up on your face.
Awesome.
And it's just enough that you can kind of really painfully rip it off. And I'm going to say fling it to the ground. Now, what do you do?
I'm gonna just. Are the windows like normal windows, or are they set up higher?
I mean, if you're trying to go run jump out of them, you totally can.
That's exactly what I'm gonna try to do.
Yeah.
Stained glass.
Mm-hmm.
The
Action hero.
The bottom is probably a little bit below waist height. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just try to run and jump out of it.
Cool. I think that's a dex check.
Okay.
As you weigh enough, you're going to bust through. It's just a matter of, do you do it in a way that you impale yourself or not?
What about a 43? Oh, 43 under 85, which is a hard success.
That would be 42.
Oh, my bad.
It's ran down.
Correct.
Would you like to spend a point of luck?
Absolutely.
You probably should. Cool. So yes, the hard success, you're able to kind of shoulder through, and although you do hit the ground rather hard, I'm going to say that you launch yourself effectively into a bush, so you get some scrapes and bruises, but not enough to cause more harm to you, which is good because you're about to die. So Eloise, John just goes crashing out the window.
We're leaving. Just a few more eggs.
When you stab
right
this
out.
thing and throw it down, kind of everyone turns and looks at John, and they all open their. You just get this slow motion thing of something large in their throats moving around, and then these heads pop out, and they all just start screaming as you have injured one of their own. Cool.
Well, that's probably fine.
Hey, Maurice. Actually,
Yes.
both of you. Actually, all three of you. Give me another sanity check. Why not?
I believe I'm at 42.
42
Hey,
under
19 under
44.
27.
Ooh.
33 under 42.
You all take one. Jeez. Only one person's insane. Only one person's on death's door. It's unfair. Chat was too kind with all those major boons. That's what it is.
It was the minor boons that really helped, actually.
That's true. Cool. So, while John's out of there, what are you doing, Maurice?
Maurice is going to go get the car started. If he can get the car started, he's going to drive it closer so Eloise and John can get in, and then maybe dramatically outrun whatever the giant monster is.
Well, considering the fact that you already passed the stupid luck roll, I can't make the car. I can't make the car break. But as you approach, there's someone in the car.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who's in the car?
You gonna check it out?
No, I'm going to whap him with my
Okay.
not taking a chance.
You just run towards him. You're just about to clock him over the head, and then you see the kind of vaguely wavy blonde hair.
It's a stupid kid.
Well, hey there, Mr. Morris. I didn't want y'all coming out here by yourselves, and it sounds like there's an awful ruckus going on in that church. Is Agatha okay?
Look, buddy,
You're
we
all
have no
covered in
time.
something.
Yeah, I'm all uncovered. Like, get out of the way. That's I'm covered in.
What's that dripping off that wrench? Sure does look like brains, Mr.
That's
Maurice.
Fredrickson. It's the butcher. Get out of the way.
He's in the back seat. He's like, well, all right.
All right. I start the vehicle and I try to get to Eloise and John just so they can pop in. Hopefully, if they don't, they're getting left behind.
And he's just saying, well, when I saw where y'all were going, I kind of followed along, and then I figured you might be coming out here, so I hid in the trunk. And it's mighty stuffy in there, sir. So I kind of got out here to get some air, and then was sitting back here and figured everything's okay. And then I heard that ruckus. I was about to come out and see you when I saw you run out. What's that in that doorway moving around, sir? That looks like a snake or something.
I ignore him. I
Start
don't
the
have
car.
time for him. I start the car, and I
Cool.
go vroom, like really loudly to drown him out.
Cool. All right. So Eloise, you're picking up more eggs.
Yeah, I probably should go, but they're all looking at the window, so
Go ahead and give me another Constitution check if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I wonder how those eggs are going. I got 4 under 60.
Wow.
Is that an
Your
extreme
liver
success?
crushes.
I don't know how
Yes.
math works, so yes, I'll say
So-
yes.
So
A
on
10.
your thing, it says has 3 numbers. The first one is regular
Right.
success, the second one's hard success, and the third one is extreme success.
Yes, extreme success.
Ooh. So you're about to pick up some more eggs when, because you know that feeling like you're fine, or maybe your tummy hurts a little bit, but you're fine. That all of a sudden, just like sweat starts prickling out on your face, and you get that little bit of dizziness of like, oh no. And then before you can say anything, you just spew all over eggs and people and stuff. And it is enough that you do see some little wriggling thing fly out with the, I'm going to say egg salad that you had for lunch. It's real gross, but extreme success. Well done.
Yeah. Oh, they might not like that. Time for me to leave with my eggs. I gotta get the payload out of here.
Okay, so what are you doing?
They're all looking at the door and like spitting horrible things. Well, at the window that John left through, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the other window on the other side.
Are you going to try to crash through it?
Yeah, I am.
Sure. Give me a dex.
I gotta get out of here with my eggs.
Give me a dex.
My precious children. I got a 9.
What?
I am motivated by eggs.
This is a whole thing. So when Eloise goes crazy, she becomes Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We've already determined this. So it's like it's all really, really bad, and then you go nuts, and then boom. So you don't, unlike John, who kind of went shoulder out and then kind of just like crashed into some bushes, only the camera sees as Eloise just takes off running, knife arms, and then leaps up feet first, like a double kick, and just like pop out, and then lands on your own feet, kind of stumbles a little bit. You're totally good. You got glass a little bit all over you. Maybe you have some cosmetic little scrapes, but no harm whatsoever.
Word was drop kick.
All right, then we're hustling towards the car, I guess.
Sure. All right.
Get in!
You're moving the car.
Which is probably going to be a hilarious scene because the car's going that way and I'm coming around the other side like, wait.
Yeah, as John comes from one side and Eloise comes from the other, you can hear the sound of people pouring behind you, John, of people like scrabbling with each other to try to make their way out. You hear a few thuds and crackling as people fall out the window into that same bush, but you're just legging it. Maurice and young Augie Derleth in the car out front see as that tail that had blocked the door back up, and then you see the belfry itself begin to bulge. You see a few pieces of clapboard siding popping off as this very large version of the thing that was recently trying to bore its way into John's throat and chilling in Eloise's stomach begins just thrashing its way out of this church. These massive bat-like wings flare. Cool. Well, John is the first to make it to the car. Maurice, are you going to wait for Eloise?
She's legging it after her incredible dex roll, I'm guessing. So yes.
Yeah. Cool.
So John's going to dive in the back and try to hold the back door open for Louise to make it a little easier for her.
It's going to hopefully be like a rolling start.
Yeah, so you're already moving as Eloise begins to leg it. Augie's looking out the other window like, what? The camera sees what he sees, which is 4 of the ladies begin, now that the front door is unexposed, just kind of stepping over the crushed bodies of the fallen members of the congregation with these snake-like creatures with bat wings just protruding from their mouths, just kind of staring at him, moving their heads to side, reaching out to him as if trying to charm him in some way. I don't think that's right. And then he go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna try to push his head down to try to like make him stop looking at it.
Yeah. That don't seem right,
to
sir.
kind of save his.
Just reach over and push his head down. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Try to
Eloise
save his innocence a little bit.
dives into the car. I mean, he probably makes or attempts and fails a sanity check. So yes, and then Maurice, you were going to try to pull away. Why don't you give me a drive check there, Maurice?
Yes, drive. That's one of my good ones.
Because that would be a
here.
perfect time for you to lose control and run into a tree.
I think so. To just drive. Yep, it's a 70. Here we go.
I mean, this is
Big
literally
money.
your job.
Well, yes, 61. So not amazing, but successful.
But you don't lose control.
No.
In theory, medicine is my job. So
This is what it looks like when someone is competent at their actual profession.
I've only ever
Take
had
note,
to do
Eloise.
this once. I've done it once. So Eloise she's put in a lot more work.
Yes.
Or
So you were able to, with a little bit of fishtailing, straighten yourself out and then just floor it over like this bumpy, rutted, kind of freshly cut lawn, and then slew your way into the gravel road and begin making your way toward town. And behind you, you see this creature just those wings as the congregates begin to spread out, some of them going for their cars. And there's this hooting, screeching, cawing, but yet somehow reptilian cry that even over the chatter in the car and the rumble of the engine and the bumping of the ruts, you can hear this piercing sound and feel anger and frustration as it begins to lift off and give chase. So, what are folks doing? Because it's coming.
Oh,
Maurice,
you're not looking too good there, John. Do you need some medicine?
It's just blood pooling out of those two holes.
Yeah.
Look, we got major boons. We should be able to do this.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to just try to throw a band-aid on it, that's fine.
Oh yeah,
It's
don't
just
worry.
kinda-
I have plenty of things. Do I use medicine or first aid for this?
First aid.
First aid.
Medicine is more like for medical care in the appropriate setting.
I got a 35 under 75.
So a hard success.
Yep, hard success.
Cool. So gain 3 there, John.
Back up to half.
As you
patched up.
wad up's probably some gauze and slap it on there and tell young Mr. Derleth to keep pressure on it. Enough to
Maurice,
stanch the bleeding.
Maurice, do you have a gun in this cab at all?
Yeah, Quakers are known for their guns.
I don't know you.
Well, it is a loner. You can make a
Oh.
luck roll.
I'm doing a luck roll. Still 37. Ooh, that's a 91.
Can I try it at least in the back seat?
Well, that's
See if maybe
it's.
there's
I think at this point it's a major
Okay.
boon if you want to try that again.
All right. How many of those we have?
We have 3 left.
3 currently.
I'll use one.
I have so many major boons. I've spent a number of them without announcing.
Nah,
it.
63 is not good either. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. You open up the glove compartment and it's like, oh, it's a gun, and then you go in to shoot it. It's actually one of those gun lighters. Oh wow.
All right, I'm gonna just try to speed along and try to navigate in such a way to confuse the people behind us.
Are there any like nearby military bases or police or anything that has guns or cannons? That'd be nice.
No.
No.
This is bucolic
Massachusetts.
rural Massachusetts.
Yes.
All right.
Now
Tell
you
Bob and
could
weave.
maybe a history check might give you an idea of a place to a history. What am I trying to say? Intelligence. An intelligence
feel
check
like-
might give you an idea of like, is there a place to go that's safer?
I feel like the child who's relatively from here would know better than us. So I ask, what's his name?
Oh,
Oh.
he's from Wisconsin.
He's from
I don't think he
Saxbury,
knows
Wisconsin.
anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a 39 under 80 to think of better
Oh, a hard
places to be
success.
than here.
So, you know the creature is flying and could come from any angle at any moment. You know there is an old covered bridge, like half a mile from here, that would at least
right.
provide some cover and would restrict potential angles of attack.
Yeah, that seems good. I'll mention, well, this is the old bridge. You know, Maurice, the old bridge, the covered one. Head there.
Okay. Is that
Then
a
we can at least-
navigation?
No, I think the intelligence check was sufficient
Okay,
to
then,
remember
yep.
where it is. Yeah.
I drive to the old covered bridge.
Cool. Yeah, but do give me a drive or navigate if you would like. Just not to see whether you can find it, but like to see how efficiently you're able to get there.
Drive would be a lot nicer,
Okay.
especially seeing as I rolled a 67, under a 70.
Okay. Yeah. You're a little freaked out. But Eloise is giving you the instructions as she jealously looks at the eggs. Oh, my preciouses.
Did we notice that?
They're for sure not going to hatch. No, I'm just joking. But in her head, she's patting her little medical case. So you almost miss the turn off, and then kind of have to veer at the last second as you skid, and then bump, 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 bump. Eventually, you hit the old wooden bridge. My presumption is you're going to stop there.
Yes.
Cool. Is anyone doing anything? I'm giving you all a chance to do a thing before things advance.
Like when we were in the car or like when we get here?
You're so you've just like screeched to a halt in the middle of this covered bridge.
I'm gonna maybe go check the trunk to see if there's anything, maybe some old blankets or something maybe to cover up with, maybe like a face mask type of deal so that they can't shove eggs in our mouth. I don't know.
Cool. Give me a luck roll.
Okay. Because we already tried the gun situation and there was nothing, so.
It's an M60, fully automatic.
Right. Wow. I missed it by 1. So that's a fail.
Oh.
54 under 50, or my bad, 54 over 53.
Oh, if you want to spend a major boon, I'll let you make it.
Nah.
You sure?
Do it. See what you
Now's
find.
the time to use them.
Might as well
Okay.
burn them all.
Okay, I'll burn
Okay.
one.
All right. You got that, Misha?
Yeah, I can do it.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll say that it deducts to like 20 or something like that. So yeah, you get a success. So I'm gonna say there are a few like blankets back here because it does get cold in the winter and sometimes cars break down. But I'll say you do also find a hunting rifle.
Okay.
Too small to fit in the glove compartment.
Okay.
Or too large to fit in the glove compartment, but back here.
I was about to say.
Hey, I found a rifle.
Well, that'll be handy.
I don't really know how to use one of these things, but
Yeah, hold on. How's everyone's rifle firearms? Mine's 25. Is everyone else's also
Everyone's is
25?
Mine is 25.
Well then. Do
yeah.
your best, everybody.
I always say, I always go hunt with my dad, with my pa.
You're too young.
Wait, are you actually a good shot? Okay, I was going to tell you to get into the trunk because it's
Oh,
not
I've been
safe.
in there. I forgot. I thought there was something that kept. I got a crick in my neck from being back there. I wondered that there was something back there, but I should have told you it was a rifle. I guess.
Look, Augie, the maximum writing I've heard is brevity. So keep that in mind.
I mean, I'm a pretty good shot, sir.
There you go.
Cool.
Is he mechanically better than
Oh, yeah.
us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then what I'm
I
going to
mean,
do...
he knows
all right.
which end the bullet comes out of, and you guys barely do. So he's
Yeah.
mechanically significantly better than you.
All right. You two take these blankets and, I don't know, like, lay at the snake monster. And we'll lure him down here, and I'll help Augie take the shot. We just need to hit it probably in the head, right? And it'll just come straight down one of these tunnels, one way or the other.
So, as the cars of the congregation that's been chasing you crest a little hill and start to come down towards the behind you with this covered bridge, you hear another one of those screeching caws, and something kind of hits the top of the covering. A couple of the boards fly off, and you can hear thunk, 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 thunk. And then this head cranes its way down into the opening.
Or it could just be right above us. That's fine too.
And looks at you. The cars screech to a halt. The creature begins, like its sinuous body kind of hops off the front and then begins making its way through this covered bridge towards you. Augie has a gun. He's going to go first because he gets a plus 50 on his dex. He is well, who do I shoot?
The monster.
The people are the okay. All right, I'm gonna try to shoot the monster. Oh, with a 46, that's a hit, a regular hit. I did not get a D8 out.
Actually, I can roll for you if you want.
I got it. Okay. Oh, he does a little bit of damage. There's a little and a little spray of black, disgusting stuff. All the people behind scream in unison. The things hanging out of their mouths just writhing back and forth as if they can feel its pain. So,
I cover Augie's ears. Just focus on shooting. Just focus on shooting.
Cool. I think staying this thing up. Well, no, you saw it before. It's fine. We'll do a sanity check next time. So John or Maurice, what are you doing?
Sorry, we're out of the vehicle at this point.
I don't know. So John and Augie for sure were.
Okay.
You may not be. Eloise may not be. Actually, I think probably you and Eloise are in the vehicle.
Okay. Is there like a gas can or something like that?
Sure.
All right. I'm kind of planning ahead.
Go ahead and give me. Why don't you give me an intelligence, maybe?
You kind of seeing where I'm going with this?
Actually, anyone can, but
94.
Okay.
So not great.
I think anyone can give me an
60 under 80.
Yeah,
Success.
you get the sense, Eloise, that it is literally seconds before this thing is on you.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's a little big for this area, but it's more like long than it is big around. So it's not having a super hard time moving through this effectively tunnel. So you think your guess is kind of elaborate stuff that takes time is going to be problematic and that it's going to be on you very quickly.
You could just make it eat it. Fire is a solution here. The book told us about the fire. Or was it Sin who told us about the fire? Who knows?
It was, you're thinking Sin. So, John, Maurice, one of you goes.
I think the best thing is just to start the car and maybe move along even more.
The car's still running as far as I know.
All right. I get back in the
seat. You literally
Sure.
pulled to a stop, and then there was a little bit of time for John to check the trunk and Augie to pop out and go, oh yeah, that's a rifle. I can use it. Cool. Hand it to me. Oh crap. Boom. That's literally all that's happened so far.
All right.
So, Maurice, what are you doing?
Get back in the driver's seat. Wait for everyone to get in.
You should run down something, either the monster or the people behind us.
I would assume that it's behind the car, right? So we could drive forward.
There's 5 or 6 cars with congregants behind you. They have just gotten out of their cars and they're starting to move their way towards you. And then as soon as the large creature was shot, they all kind of stopped for a second as the snake creatures coming out of their throats reacted in pain. And then in front of you is the large creature itself as it's rapidly approaching the vehicle.
Oh, it's in front of us, not above us.
Oh yeah, it landed above, stuck its head around, and then started crawling towards you through the tunnel.
So we got the people behind us, the monster in front of us.
The people and all their cars behind you and the monster in front of you. Yes.
Well, if it's in front of us, then it's time to... and there's no time. I think I'm going to try and drive this vehicle into the monster.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me... I'm going to say...
Drive or brawl. They're both
right?
the same. They're both the same.
It's a drive. I'm going to say you're going to want to do real good on this.
Oh, yeah. Here comes 29. On my drive, what is hard? It's a hard success.
Are you satisfied with that?
What would it take to get me to extreme? I would require 11. Can I add luck for that?
Yeah.
I will add 11 luck. Which brings me down to 26.
Cool. So, as Maurice kind of is mumbling to himself, well, I've got a gas can or whatever. And what if I did this? And do I go forward? Do I go back? Eloise just takes his hand. There's no time. And then, just keep going, Maurice. Just keep going. And then we have a little bit of a Thelma and Louise moment as Maurice slams on the accelerator. John and Augie left behind as the car just like peels rubber and then rapidly accelerates towards this creature. And the creature rapidly accelerates towards the car. Yeah. So I'm going to use a Major Bane. The creature lowers its head. And there's this almighty crunch as the vehicle hits the creature's head. It rears back in pain. John and Augie can see as the congregants behind just begin to stumble. As a few of the parasites kind of go limp in these people's mouths, and like 1 or 2 of them even start reaching up trying to pull them out after a moment of confusion. But the creature, go ahead and roll, I don't know, if you've got them. Like, what does a car do? Like
a lot?
Like a stupid
12?
amount? Oh God, no, more than
Well,
that.
it's probably like two, at least 2 dice, right?
It's
Because there has to be a minimum.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's like 2d12 plus 6. Because it should be enough to, at minimum, completely murder a person. Hey, lollygaggers, welcome in.
I rolled, both my rolls ended up with 13, so that's 19 damage total.
All right.
I got a 2 and an 11 on my rolls.
Awesome. So you crash into this creature. You can hear the sickly crunch. Like, it's not like bones breaking, because this thing probably doesn't have bones, but you do hear weird popping noises as the windshield simultaneously spiders and cracks and then is just covered in this viscous black-green goop. And another one of those guttural screeching howls echoes through this covered bridge. And the creature that is now like embedded in the hood of your vehicle begins to thrash as you're yanked from side to side and thrashed around, John and Augie can feel the bridge shaking underneath you. The congregants are now in full-on panic, some of them dropping to their hands and knees and retching up the tail of these parasites that have been living lodged within them for who knows how long. Some of them have obviously completely lost their minds and are clawing at their own faces. A few of them throw themselves off this little embankment down into the water to be swept away. It's real chaos. There is a groan and a snap as the tail of this creature just takes out one wall of this covered bridge and then begins to fall, pulling your car with it, Maurice and Eloise. I think I need both of you, your choice of constitution to brace or dexterity to try to like act super quick and leap free of the vehicle because you're going into the drink.
Either is fine because they're both the same. I will choose constitution though.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. 100 is only when they're all zeros, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Then this is 10.
Okay. Which is an extreme success, right?
Extreme success, yes.
Well done.
I'm going with Dex actually because I gotta protect these eggs as best I can.
And you're currently insane, which means you're like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so you should do great.
Yes,
on
it
this.
is true. Oh, well, I got 60 out of 60, so enough to protect the eggs, but probably not myself.
No, that's it's enough. I'm gonna say
it's a success.
I'm gonna say
I'm leaving the vehicle.
You do. It's more that you get the door, like as you're falling, your instinct is to get out, and you get the door open and you're kind of halfway out of it when it slams into the water. But you are knocked free, but in the process take 3 points of damage.
That's the first time I've ever been damaged.
I mean, you've been
in the back
driven
and
insane all the time, but yeah,
all of the
physically
times.
You've been fine. And Maurice, you just brace. I'm going to say you have just enough time as you're going over to even like put your feet up on the dash as the car goes vertical, and you can see just the maw of this thing through the gunk and whatever little tiny little spots it has for eyes rolling around in its partly crushed head, almost like staring at you as you go into the water. So Maurice is in a car that's rapidly sinking. Eloise is knocked free. There is a massive, like 40-foot long creature in its death throes with you in the river. John, what are you doing? Augie's just like with the gun. He's got it trained on the. I don't want to shoot my aunt. Do I need to shoot them, Mister?
So do I see either Elise or Maurice?
Where you are, the walls of the covered thing are still intact. So all you see is this thing knock through the wall and then fall out, dragging the car with it.
Okay, so John's instinct to leave the situation has now kicked in.
Okay.
And he's noticed that the people are kind of paralyzed, and so he's gonna grab Augie and just start running towards one of the cars.
Okay.
And try to jump into it and leave.
Yeah.
That's who John is. So
it's 100%. You just dodge past people who are groaning on the ground. They're reaching out towards you, but it's more like reaching for help than anything else. Like no one's really trying to impede. Augie,
he's gonna kind of knock him away.
Yeah. Augie gets kind of the message a little bit. I will say Will sees what you're doing and is down with it. It's like, yeah, we gotta get out of here. But my aunt. And we'll go over it. Help me. His aunt is one of the people who has effectively passed out. You can see a trail of viscous mucus and blood where whatever it was that was in her has now left. She does appear to be alive.
John's just gonna take the gun and hop into the car.
Come on, mister.
If the kid's gonna try to stop and save the aunt.
Come on, mister. He's pulling her.
John has one set in his mind of I need to get out of this situation. I need to leave.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a sanity check.
Okay. That is a 30 under 43.
Cool. Take one. As you abandon an old woman and a young boy to their fates, the camera pulls back to an aerial view of this massive thrashing snake-like creature down in the creek, the rapidly sinking car, the bobbing white nurse's uniform of Eloise, trying not to be swept away by the current. As John just like, sorry, kid, and is out. Eloise, Maurice, what are you doing?
See, I'm trying to get out of a sinking vehicle and possibly trying to aid Eloise in the process. You know,
it's gonna take a strength to get out.
I'll do a strength, which is my physical abilities are quite good. All right, so big boy strength, come on. 65 under 70.
Cool. Is just enough that you can just like pop out the window. It's not quite completely submerged, so you just kind of you got your wrench, smash the window, and pull yourself out. Kind of come sputtering up to the surface. Look around. You see amongst the thrashing coils of this creature, you can see a little flash of white. Eloise, what are you doing?
I'm trying to swim to the shore.
Cool, give me a swim.
I love swimming. I know how to do it, I think.
Is that an actual skill?
Yeah.
It is. Of course it is. Unfortunately, I didn't quite do it, but I'm just going to, I don't feel like I'm going to be around for too many more games, so I am just going to spend 13 luck to make it 20 out of 20.
There you go. So Eloise just flips over onto her back, puts the precious cargo on her chest, and then begins one-arm backstroking toward the shore. Maurice sees this. Hey, Maurice, would you like to dodge or fight back?
Fighting back is preferable because it's a higher chance of me succeeding.
Cool. As the tail of this dying creature, as you can see one of its little beady eyes. Notice
That's
the
no
movement.
good. Do we have any more major boons?
We do.
We have 2 left.
I rolled a 96.
Oh, that's not good at all.
So yeah, let's re-roll both of those because
You might want to save it.
59.
Okay. I got a 3.
Oh no! Ooh. That's what you meant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a 3. So
I believe that's max damage.
Yeah.
This again?
Yeah, it's this literally again. So would you like to spend 10 luck points?
How much health do I stand to lose, or
12.
is that? I have 13.
Oh, that's right. So you don't have to spend 10.
Look, I'm gonna make it dramatic and say I have 1 health.
Cool. Give me a constitution. You've taken another major wound.
I believe I have another major wound.
You've taken another
Whatever,
major
I just
wound.
lost the last one. Let's see. Is that a 20 or a 70? Oh no. It's 78. Over 70.
Cool. Yeah, you're knocked unconscious. So Eloise, you can see Maurice striking out after you. Wait, let me help you. And then you see this tail whip around and just smack the water and him. And you see him bob up for a second, then his eyes kind of cross, and then he slowly slips under the water. What do you do?
Am I at the shore at this point, or
Sure.
am I still in the water? All right, I'll put
The current
down
isn't all
the
that strong.
precious, put down the precious cargo, give a little pat, and then back into the water with me to go get Maurice.
All right.
Swim, swim, swim.
It's going to go really well.
Listen, we're just going to spend another 14 luck,
Okay.
no worries, to swim nicely over to where Maurice is. And then I guess I gotta grab him or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say
this?
you can pull him up so he doesn't drown.
Yeah.
What's going to be challenging is if you want to do anything other than just float down the river.
I mean,
creek.
I would like to go, back to the shore.
And that's going to be another swim.
All right. Swim, swim, swim.
Card.
A 9. Haha. Success.
What?
I get to live.
That's in fact a hard success.
So Eloise, in her insanity, as per usual, just like, oh well, I guess I have to do all these athletic, acrobatic combat feats, and then just like blows it out of the water. Yeah, you got him in a lifeguard's hold and just swim back to shore. The creature, as it expires, it begins to break apart into, like, it gets really goopy, and like one of its wings just kind of sloughs off as Eloise, you're watching it kind of get carried by the waves downstream, and like it hits a few rocks and it kind of is broken into just this sludge, and pretty soon it's just this burbling slick of blackish green oily stuff with chunks in it. I'm going to say, Eloise, as you're holding Maurice's head up, you've cleared the airway and checked he's breathing. He just needs to come to consciousness. You, out of the corner of your eye, catch the movement and pull off a heel and then smack one of these little creatures that's been snaking its way towards the grass towards you, but it's dying. And it just kind of like leaves a sploosh on the heel of your shoe. John, with the wind.
So I feel like John, after maybe like a few minutes down the road, would kind of, maybe this wasn't the right idea. These people saved me, and kind of turn around and see if he can't see them on the bank maybe, or kind of like, I got out of the situation. Was it really that bad? And then kind of turn around and see if he can't pick people up.
Okay. So as Eloise, you hear someone coming down the embankment with your shoe at the ready. You see young Augie Derleth. Oh, is that you?
Oh, Augie, are you all right?
I'm okay. My aunt's passed out. What's wrong with Maurice?
Oh, he got knocked out.
Oh, but he didn't want to have one of those things in him, does he?
Did he eat one of those, or did I cut in line on that? I don't think he ate one.
Never got to him.
Well, I don't think he has a thing in it. I don't think so. Not according to my memory, and my memory is very good and trustworthy.
Oh, all right. Did you see those people with the and the
Yes.
Oh man. Well, my aunt's up here and she seems kind of all right. She's breathing. Would you mind?
That's good.
Taking a look at her? That John guy just left us. We were getting ready to go to the car, and I was like, well, we got to bring my Aunt Agatha, and he was just like, all right, kid, whatever, and then took off.
Well, sometimes in stressful situations, different people just kind of act differently, Not everyone reacts to such horrors with such bravery as you did, Augie.
Well, you know what? I guess that's fair, Miss Eloise. Not everyone's made of the same stuff I am. And kind of puffs himself out and snaps his suspenders.
Yes, you're a good kid. I'm really glad you're so concerned about your aunt. You were right to be worried. Yeah.
I mean, I took some time to step on the rest of those snake things. It didn't seem right to have them squirming around. Mm-hmm. So I think they're all dead. And that big one is, it's just a big old pile of mess right now.
Yeah, it'll just float downriver. It won't bother us none.
Do you think we should go back to that church and squish all them eggs?
Oh, I can take care of the eggs.
Would you be okay to do that though?
Oh, yes, I'd be perfectly fine to do that.
I mean, you are a professional. Probably know how to take care of it better than I do. I should probably go see my aunt. At this point, the car with John kind of pulls up. And as you do, you can look down the embankment and see Augie and Eloise and Maurice. Maurice, you are just now kind of groggily coming to. You see like double images of everything because you have for sure been concussed almost to death.
Oh yeah, I should probably do some first aid on you. Like, actually, huh? Hold on, let me show Augie how good I am at first aid. 33 under 75.
You only succeed at medical tasks as a nurse when you're actively insane. Okay, cool.
That's a hard success.
Well done.
2 HP or just 1?
Get back 3, Maurice.
3? Oh,
Yeah.
I am
There you
replete
go.
with health.
Now let's go. I wave at John's car. Look, see, he came back. Changed
Give it a
heart,
good
probably, or was
honk,
looking at
and
the
then-
situation.
Augie will kind of look at you. You left us. I'm glad you came back, sir. Well, will you help me get my aunt in the back seat?
Here, me and you, Augie, we'll go take a look at your aunt. And John, if you could get Maurice up into the car, he's been
Absolutely, I can do that.
terribly hurt. And I will go to the bridge with Augie to check out everything else.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
gonna-
help Maurice.
Oh, am I up? Or at least conscious?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta talk to the insurance adjuster about the taxi. I don't think they're gonna be happy I broke it.
You can talk to him here in a few days. I think that would probably be the best.
That sounds like a good idea. Maybe I should take some time off again. This has been a heck of a 2 weeks.
Considering, what about the fact that you caved in the butcher's head with your wrench? There's that too.
There is that as well. Let's file that under massively deep regrets that I'll be
Trauma.
dealing with.
I
Okay,
think trauma is the correct word for that one,
Yes.
there, bud.
cool.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Maurice? You actually
Oh.
drank the blood of our Lord, didn't you?
Oh, I did.
Oh,
Didn't get
wow.
an egg, but got the blood.
He got the blood.
Cool. Heal another form.
Hooray!
I was wondering if you'd recover better from the near death
Yeah.
due to the blood.
Look,
Heal another
recovery-
form. Just maybe don't go out in the sunlight anytime in the next day or two.
Oh, great! I'm a vampire.
Temporarily. Anyway, so montage of getting the injured into the car. Because Maurice is concussed, John, you're going to have to drive. Cut to a scene probably in Eloise's office as Eloise cleans people up and bandages them and stuff. Agatha has come around. She remembers very little of the past couple of weeks. One of her friends, the butcher's wife, in fact, had invited her to come with her to a fellowship session. She's never been a particularly godly person, but thought she would just be nice and doesn't really remember much beyond being pressured into taking communion. And yeah, Eloise, what are you gonna do about back at the
Oh, well, I mean, when I have a moment, I'm obviously taking one of the cars. Once we get everyone to safety from this horrible, I assume we're just going to say cult incident, definitely going to go pick up all the eggs, though.
Cool.
Like, there's a lot of them. I'm going to keep them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do anything or make little guys. I don't want to eat them, but we do have somebody in a basement who could probably eat them and see what happens.
Shh. All right. That won't be a
I'll
problem.
have to run it by Madge first.
That won't
But
be a
you know.
problem. I'm sure Madge will be fascinated by
Yeah.
what's going on with these eggs. So yeah, you get all the eggs you could possibly want.
Is the Cavendish collection the stuff that Madge and Eloise store in their basement?
Maybe.
You guys
We haven't-
haven't yet come across the Cavendishes.
We have not come across the Cavendish.
You have to prove yourselves as supernatural investigators first, which I think several of you have. And actually, with that, I think we have another montage scene. Maybe a few days later, as Eloise is checking the morning mail, as Maurice is showing up, head still bandaged, at work, as John is back in his, kind of tenement hotel, and various different people say, "Oh, Mr. Doe, you got a letter. Oh, Maurice, someone dropped something off for you." And Eloise, you see this lovely kind of vellum envelope. Where it's sealed, there's a little, not a wax seal, it's just like a little stamp with a very kind of fancy curly-cued C in green ink. And then we have like a split shot of all three of you kind of cracking open this envelope, pulling it out, and kind of quizzically looking at the contents. And then the camera fades to black. Cool. Well, unfortunately, everyone lived.
I was one away from going insane.
You were one away from going insane.
Yeah.
You almost died. John almost died.
Yep.
Eloise did go insane, but no one died. It's fine. Someday you will yearn for the sweet release of death.
I am working. I'm about halfway there. It looks like, looking at my sanity.
Right? Yes. You're now doubly insane, but you do have some sanity left, right?
Yeah, like 26 of it.
Yeah, you're nowhere near close to.
That's plenty.
Going completely insane.
And I'm perfectly fine. Everything's normal. I don't need to go see help.
Right. Cool.
Yes.
So yes, well, excellent, everyone. You have survived, and you have taken care of a supernatural threat to Arkham and its residents. So that's a D4 and a D6 of sanity.
Hooray!
D4 and a D6.
Yep.
9.
8. That is almost full.
That is
I got
also
4.
an 8 for me.
Listen, it's a normal amount. 4 is a great number.
4 is a great number.
Up to 49 out of 50.
I am at 50 out of 50, so I am not insane anymore.
I mean,
Or, well,
no, you are.
yeah.
Unless you seek the services of a certain alienist, your indefinite insanity is there. It is not actively expressed, however. Bad stuff can happen. And although you did encounter a strange creature, unfortunately, none of you had a chance to truly commune. So I'm afraid I can't award you any mythos points. Eloise was close.
I was pretty close.
I was pretty
Actually,
resistant.
I think I skipped the blood too. So
give me, you skipped the blood, unfortunately. Give me a medicine check.
the dice say that I am not insane while I'm doing this medicine check, as I got an 80 out of 77.
You don't, although you do examine the eggs and probably run some cursory, non-destructive experiments on them, your sanity has returned, which means that you are utterly incompetent in all things medical. So you don't learn enough about them to increase your mythos score, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll just leave them here as a treat.
Yeah, they're just little guys.
Just little guys. They live in a little basement collection. We're starting our own collection.
The little guys.
And then post-credit scene too, a few months later, you get someone, probably Eloise, gets a telegram from August Derleth, who has returned to Sac Prairie, Wisconsin. Just checking in to make sure you're okay. Thanking you for taking care of him and his aunt. And also giving you the news that after 40 some odd tries, his short story, Bats in the Belfry, has been picked up and published. And he's on his way to becoming a great award-winning writer. thanks in part to the adventures that you had together. So good for him.
It's so much more real when you base it off of stuff you've seen.
Exactly.
Look, I think I have to pay off a car.
Right.
Do we get any residuals from this book, the sales of this book?
I'm going to say John probably helps you come up with a believable lie about how it was stolen or something. So it's fine.
By the cult. It was stolen by the cult.
Yes.
Somebody attacked me.
Yeah.
With a wrench, probably.
Somebody knocked you out and then stole the card. And if they don't believe you, look at the big. It's like, it looks like you got hit with a giant snake. How'd that happen? Anyway. You all died. I mean, you all lived. Whatever. Sorry, we'll cut that. That was the ending that was supposed to happen. And now you're all dead. No, so you all lived. No one's particularly. Oh no, Maurice, you haven't even gone totally insane. Not once.
No, I was incredibly close.
Next time, I'll be more mean.
All right.
Because we can't have people going around sane. Well done, everyone. This has been, I think this is the third of a loosely interconnected series of little vignette stories rolled up into the Cavendish collection. I think the next one probably will be actually getting into the actual Cavendish part of it. So we shall see. And yes, for those of you who know anything about the history of the publishing of Cthulhu Mythos, August Erleth was a award-winning writer in his own right. And also founded Arkham House Publishing Company, which is the publisher that actually brought H.P. Lovecraft's work to prominence. Without his work, Lovecraft would probably have been completely obscure. So the characters are responsible for unleashing the horror of the Cthulhu mythos on the popular consciousness. So well done.
Nice.
Cool. Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks everyone. Let's go around and do the thing, and then we'll say goodbye to YouTube, and then we'll do a rate out thing. So, hey, let's start with Villain this time.
My name is your only villain or villain. So I play John Doe, or middle name Alex. So John has learned that never to step foot back into a church. This is now 2 churches that have been destroyed in his presence. So now he's terrified of them. But other than that, John is just kind of just hanging out at this point, just hanging out in his apartment, just trying to get his mind back together. But yeah, other than that, Shanks.
So I am the Shanks Master General. I played Maurice Church, the Quaker of Doom. He's done a lot of, he's wailed on a few things in a very un-Quaker kind of way, I imagine. But you can find me at twitch.tv/ShanksMasterGeneral. I haven't been streaming. I've been sick, but hey, I'll get back to it. You can also find me, you can find my band, The Dreadnoughts, DREADNOUGHTS, on Spotify and all other music platforms, or you can just go to thedreadnoughts.com and look at our website there directly. Thank you very much. Eloise, Misha.
Hello, I am Misha. I was playing Eloise, who has a second new obsession to go with her other obsession. So looking forward to that. You'll see me here next, I think, on Tuesday for some Fate Brigade, which is a masks campaign. So lots of superhero nonsense. Should be fun. Otherwise, I'm usually hanging out at the Justice TV program as a mod.
Awesome.
I think that's it.
Well, thanks everyone for playing. Thanks chat for chatting, and Boons and Baning and all that good stuff. Thanks Raiders for raiding. Thanks new followers for following and all that good stuff. So let's wave goodbye to our friends at YouTube, and then we'll come back here and wrap up. Bye everyone on YouTube.